Chapter 790. Of course, it's okay if you guys can't forgive me, Xianxia said, feeling wronged. That's not what I meant. Then I'll see you at 8 tonight at Hilton Chinese. Before Qianchu could say anything, Xianxia hung up the phone. Just then, Huamin opened the door and walked in. Honey, where did you go? I couldn't get through to you on the phone. Oh, I just called the renovation team to talk about the renovation of the coffee shop. I heard that you bought 13 shops today? Are you really going to open the biggest coffee shop? Qianchu looked at her. Of course not, it's not profitable, why would I open one? I'm not an idiot, then you? Qianchu really wanted to ask, what are you going to do with the 13 shops? Then, Huamin said, I've already thought about it. Out of the 13 shops, we'll combine 2 to open coffee shops, and 3 to become GK's flagship jewelry stores. I've looked around, there's a lot of traffic there, and there aren't any of our jewelry stores nearby. 2 of them will open hot pot restaurants, and they'll make copper hot pot. It's going to be winter soon, so business should be good. 2 of them will open bookstores next to the coffee shop, and there are a lot of schools nearby, so it's a good business opportunity. We'll renovate it a little more upscale, so the kids who don't buy books can read here in peace. 3 of them will open photography studios, and they can provide professional photography for our artists. They can also take photos for outsiders, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Lastly, 2 of them will open an antique bistro. It'll be decorated like ancient times, and it'll be open 24 hours a day with lanterns hanging at the door. The atmosphere will be great. After Huamin finished speaking, Qianchu was dumbfounded. What's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me like that? Honey, you're a genius. Qianchu heard from Yang that out of the 13 shops, other than the coffee shop, the other toy and clothing stores were half dead, and their business wasn't particularly good. After his wife forcefully took them back, she planned everything out in less than half a day, and there was nothing else he could do. A bookstore, a hot pot restaurant, and a jewelry store. How could he understand these? But what the hell was that little tavern? Can I drink as I please in the future? Were they really going to ascend to the heavens? Qianchu touched the tip of his nose and said, Honey, let's not open the pub. It's not profitable. Who said so? Small taverns are the ones that make money. We're going to make a special tavern that doesn't sell beer or red wine, only white wine. I'm planning to enter the tavern from the south and sell those ancient white wines, such as Daughter's Red, Bamboo Green, and so on. Yes, there's also the one where Wusong got drunk and went to hunt a tiger. It's called 3 Bowls, but you can't cross the post. Qianchu was speechless. Hubby, do you support me? I support you, as long as you don't drink it secretly, Qianchu said. Huamin was so muddle-headed that she became a landlady out of spite with those socialites. He even personally set up 13 stores. What's more, it even made the headlines of the entrepreneurship newspaper the next day. The title was GK's A Young Lady is Smart, Takes Back 13 Stores, Wants to Create a Luxurious Pedestrian Mall. When Huamin came back, she was quite tired and was about to go upstairs to take a shower. However, she heard Qianchu say, Honey, Xianxia wants to treat us to dinner? Treat us to dinner? But she said she's very sorry for what happened today and wants to apologize to you. Come on, she didn't do anything today, why would she apologize to me? It's so weird. So are we going or not? Qianchu seemed to be looking at Huamin. To his surprise, she took out a 1 yuan coin from her pocket and said, It's up to fate. You want to flip a coin? Qianchu was speechless. If it's heads or tails, then even God doesn't want us to go. Huamin smiled. Qianchu was speechless. If the coin is in the middle, then it means we're allowed to go. After speaking, Huamin tossed the coin into the air. Chapter 791. Honey, I don't think we should go. I don't think God will let us go. Qianchu almost said that the chances of it standing up were close to 0, however, the coin landed on the wrong side. Huamin said confidently, See, this is God's will. You can't blame me. Qianchu nodded. Just then, Xianxia called again. Huamin picked up Qianchu's phone. Hello? Huamin, have you guys left yet? I've already booked a table, it's it? I'm sorry, Miss Song. My husband and I are planning on having a baby, so we're very busy. We can't go, I hope you can understand. After speaking, Huamin hung up the phone before Song Yisher could say anything. Qin Chu smiled as he looked at Huamin. So, are you on top or should I? That was just an excuse for Song Yisher, okay? Did you really take it seriously? Honey, you can't go back on your words. How are you going to educate the baby in the future? So, you have to do it. After speaking, Qin Chu picked up Huamin and walked upstairs. But it's not dark yet. It has nothing to do with that. But my period hasn't left yet. You're lying again. I know your period better than you do. It left last night. Huamin, Qin Chu, do you dare to put me down? Sure, I'll put you down as soon as I'm done. Qin Chu's in-laws didn't even wait for dinner to finish before they started doing some intense exercise. Then, the two of them went to take a shower. When Huamin came out of the bathroom, Qin Chu had already prepared a steak and fruit sofa. The color was very tempting. Honey, do you think Song Yisher likes you? Huamin leaned against the sofa as he played with his phone. I don't think so. After all, we haven't seen each other in years. Then why does she keep looking for us? Maybe it's because she doesn't have many friends in China? Qin Chu guessed. Maybe. It's best if it's not. I don't want to be her love rival. Why? Because she's not easy to deal with. Heh. Don't think too much. Come and eat. Nightclub, Huasiqian was drinking and chatting with Huamianzis. Someone talked about how Huamian forcefully took back the 13 stores today. SSSSS, S's, TTTSSST test. That's my sister of mine. She likes to mess around, but she won't make a loss. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. In a month's time, the 13ths on that street will be brand new. Yes, of course. The Huas are always reliable. Huamians, sucked up, Huasiqian took out his phone and sent a WeChat message to Huamin. I heard you were very generous today. What does that have to do with you? I'm happy for you. You should focus on dealing with the old man. You don't have much time, don't let others turn the tables on you. Huh? Why do you seem like you want to see me get turned around? Huasiqian liked to tease Huamin. Even if she talked back to him, it was still fun. Huamin didn't reply. You have an exam tomorrow, right? Good luck. I will. Huasiqian remembered that she had an exam tomorrow, so Huamin was quite grateful. Then, she saw Huasiqian's money transfer. 8,888 for lucky numbers. Huamin was just about to refuse when he said, I heard you recently took in a kid with uremia at Southside. Treat this money as buying some supplements for the kid. You do charity work too? Of course. I'm doing good deeds for myself. I don't want to die too early. Upon hearing what he said, Huamin didn't refuse and accepted his money transfer. The next morning, Huamin drove to the designated location early in the morning. She had an important exam today. President Wu called her early in the morning and told her not to be nervous. Jiang Shaowei also spent the night teaching her about neurology. Huamin, right? Asked a staff member at the entrance of the exam hall. Come in with me. Chapter 792. Huamin nervously followed the staff member in. The entire day, from morning to afternoon, there was only an hour of lunch break. Huamian only ate a mouthful of water and some bread to make up for it. She didn't leave the place for the entire day. Her phone was also on silent mode and she didn't answer any calls. This was because this was too important to her. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the invigilator brought Huamin to a remote freezer. A few of the older examiners looked at her cautiously. Have you dissected a corpse before? Yes, I did an experiment class when I was in school, but I didn't do it alone. I did it with many other students. Have you dissected a corpse alone? Not yet. Then do you know how long it takes to dissect a corpse? The invigilator asked. I know that most dissects take between 1 to 3 hours. The better ones might take less time. Very good, then you can begin now. There's a male corpse here. What you have to do is a comprehensive autopsy. Teacher, can I ask? I'm taking the neurology exam. It doesn't seem to have much to do with human anatomy. Yes, but when President Wu recommended you, he said that you were a genius. The examiners all want to see what kind of genius President Wu recommended, so this question is an additional one. You can choose to give up. Huamin remained silent after hearing this. She had already said it. If she gave up now, it would probably be a slap to President Wu's face. Over at the First Hospital and South Side, several department directors had joined forces to recommend her to the hospital. It was an unprecedented situation. If Huamin pretended to be a coward and gave up now, wouldn't she be letting everyone down? Therefore, she nodded. I won't give up. I can do it. Very good, then let's begin. After speaking, the invigilator walked out. The countdown began. Through the bright glass, Huamin put on white gloves in the freezer alone. Outside the window, there were 4 examiners and 1 invigilator. The 5 of them sat there motionlessly and watched Huamin dissect. They were very close and everyone could see clearly. Can the little girl do it? What do you think? One of the teachers asked. It's hard to say. She looks young, so she might not be able to complete such a difficult question. How long did it take the children from the internal medicine department that we invigilated a while ago to finish? About 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's not bad. She used to be a nurse, and she only came into contact with it once when she was in school. I don't think she'll be able to complete it. I think we're being too harsh on her. Didn't President Wu say that she was a genius? Aren't you going to show us? The teachers didn't seem to agree. Some people felt that they were being too harsh on Huamin, while others felt that she should perform a little. Otherwise, how would they know that she was a genius? Just as the teachers were discussing among themselves, the door to the autopsy room opened. Huamin walked out. Teacher, it's done. You finished the autopsy? The invigilator looked at her in disbelief. Oh my God, it's only been 32 minutes. The invigilator looked at the timer in his hand and felt like he was going crazy. Do you not know the steps of dissection? Is that why you're fooling us? A medical expert looked at Huamin mockingly. Please examine it. Huamin didn't want to argue. They would know once they saw it. The glass was transparent, so there was no way to cheat. The teacher stood up and walked inside. Huamin took off her white gloves and washed her hands in the basin outside. She was very calm. This is unbelievable, one of the examiners said. Did she really do it all by herself? It's perfect. Another teacher was pleasantly surprised. What did they see? In just 30 minutes, a corpse was perfectly dissected without a single flaw. Huamin, did you really do this? At this point, some people still couldn't believe what they saw. Chapter 793. Huamin nodded sincerely. This kid is unbelievable, one of the teachers exclaimed. Teacher, is there a problem? The problem is that it's too perfect. Did you really not study medicine before? Teacher, I graduated from medical school as a nurse. I've always been a nurse, Huamin answered honestly. That's incredible. The teachers exclaimed in amazement. They had been in the medical field for many years, and the fastest autopsy they had ever seen was done by a professional forensic doctor from the city bureau. It took them 30 minutes, and they even applied for the highest national record. Huamin, on the other hand, took 32 minutes under their witness, and his technique was perfect. Kid, if you haven't done so many experiments before, then you're really talented. One of the teachers said to Huamin in a serious tone. So, teacher, did I pass? Go out and wait for a bit. We'll summarize your results for today and give you an answer in a bit. Huamin nodded and walked out alone. He sat down on a bench in the hall and waited. Since it wasn't a unified exam, there was no need to wait for the results to come out. A few experienced teachers could review the results on the spot and then announce it. Just as the results were about to be announced, President Wu's car stopped at the entrance. President Wu walked in with his assistant. President Wu. How's it going? How's it going? Thanks to you, everything went smoothly. Huamin smiled. Why you here? The director here called me and said that the results will be out today. I happened to be passing by, so I came to take a look. Thank you. Huamin was truly grateful to President Wu for his support and help. Although President Wu did take care of him for Qin Chu's sake, President Wu was also a very principled person. They waited for about half an hour. Huamin and President Wu chatted casually. When it was almost time to get off work, a few teachers and an invigilator walked out. How is it? How are Huamin's results? President Wu seemed to be even more nervous than Huamin. The teachers smiled but did not say anything. Did I pass? President Wu asked nervously. Because the medical qualification examination was not like the examination for students. What was the score? Instead, it was divided into passing and failing. It was very simple. If he passed, he could become a doctor. If he failed, he could choose to continue the exam or give up. Huamin also stood up nervously. She didn't know as much about neurology as she did about obstetrics and gynecology and neurosurgery. The reason why she chose this was purely because of her hobby and interest. When she joined forces with Jiang Shaowei to treat Ni Yang, she discovered that there was currently a gap and a bug in the treatment of depression in China. Therefore, he felt that he might have the potential in this area. President Wu wants to treat us to Mao Dai. An old man who had a good relationship with President Wu said with a smile. Does that mean Huamin passed? President Wu was in a good mood. Not only did he pass, you might not believe it even if I told you. He scored full marks in every subject. It's not as simple as passing. I think he's excellent. Full marks in every subject? President Wu was a little shocked. Yes, and we did an additional dissection. He completed a perfect assignment in 32 minutes. The dissection technique was beautiful, there were no flaws or mistakes, and his speed was amazing. It's simply unprecedented. Then, the teachers couldn't help but clap. The applause was for Huamin. Old Wu. Where did you find this girl? She's so talented that it's amazing, an examiner asked. I knew my eyes wouldn't be wrong. President Wu laughed heartily. Huamin, why aren't you coming over to get your certificate? The invigilator waved the red booklet in his hand. Huamin walked over excitedly. Chapter 794. She took the dark red booklet from the teacher and slowly flipped it open. Huamin's name, gender, date of birth, education level, and ID number were written on it. On the other side, it said, Occupation, Level 1 Neurology Theoretical Knowledge, 100 Operational Skills, 100 Comprehensive Knowledge, 100 Evaluation Results. Excellent. Below it was the eye-catching red stamp of the Department of Social Security's Occupational Skills Assessment Center. So, I'm a doctor now? Huamin raised her head and asked excitedly. Level 1 Neurology Dr. Huamin of the First Hospital. Congratulations, you've successfully obtained your certification. The invigilator looked at her and said word by word, Thank you, teachers. Thank you, director. Huamin's voice was a little choked up. Being a doctor was her childhood dream. She used to think that this was an unattainable dream. But it actually came true. On such an ordinary day, she held the evidence of her red booklet in her hand. It was as if her years of persistence had finally come to an end. In the future, she would no longer be afraid of people saying that she, as a nurse, performed surgeries on patients above her level. Because she was now a legitimate doctor. Work hard from now on, strive to be the best in your field. President Wu commented and encouraged her. I will definitely. Okay, I'll treat everyone to drinks. My old friends, thank you for your hard work. President Wu had a good relationship with these people, but they were all stubborn old people. It was impossible to give the green light, especially in the field of doctors. If they didn't pass and still insisted on giving them a certification, they would be harming themselves and others in the future. Huamin's excellent graduation was something that everyone was very proud of. Especially President Wu. He was truly proud of Huamin. President Wu, I'll treat you, teachers. No need, you should go back. There are more important people waiting for you. President Wu smiled. Huamin knew that President Wu was talking about Qin Chu. Okay then. I'll treat everyone to a meal another day. After Huamin walked out, she felt that the world was beautiful. She took a deep breath and took out her phone. All right, it was time to test her acting skills. Roar, the video call connected. Qin Chu was in his office. When he saw Huamin, his eyes instantly softened. Honey, how is it? Honey, I didn't pass. How could it be? Qin Chu obviously didn't believe it. Based on his understanding of his wife, she shouldn't be able to pass such a small test, right? It's true, those teachers heard from President Wu that I'm a genius, so they gave me extra questions at the last minute. What kind of exam questions can stump you? Human anatomy. Qin Chu was speechless. Upon hearing these words, Qin Chu also fell silent. Are they deliberately making things difficult for you? You're just a neurologist? Do you really need to take the human anatomy exam? What are you talking about? I don't know either. Anyway, it was written that I failed in the end. The teacher told me not to be discouraged and to work harder next year. Don't be sad, honey. We don't need you to make money for the family anyway. But I like being a doctor, sob. I can't believe I didn't pass. Huamin lowered her head and pretended to cry. Qin Chu's heart ached for her. He immediately coaxed her. Honey, don't cry. You're just a doctor, right? Let's not do that, it's too tiring. How about this? I'll talk to Wu Zhongxing and let you be the director of South Side, okay? Will President Wu be willing? I can donate 100 million yuan to South Side. Honey, don't be so stubborn. Huamin was speechless. She had 100 million yuan to donate just to be the director of South Side? Was her brain kicked by a donkey? Why would she do that? Good girl, don't be sad. Come to the company and I'll take you out to eat good food. Okay, wait for me. Huamin smiled triumphantly and happily drove to GK headquarters. As soon as she entered the office, Qin Chu picked her up in his arms. Why are you putting me down? Where's your professional qualification certificate? Show it to me. I didn't pass, right? I don't have a certificate. Keep pretending. Qin Chu gently pecked the corner of her mouth, doting on her. Chapter 795. I'm not faking it. Huamin still refused to admit it. Okay, then let's make a bet. If you're lying to me, we'll do it 3 times tonight, okay? No, Huamin refused without hesitation. You're still denying it? Qin Chu didn't believe her nonsense. Seeing that she was exposed, Huamin helplessly took out a red notebook from her bag. Qin Chu flipped through it, and the corners of his mouth curled up. Not bad, full marks in every subject. You're good enough to be the top medical scholar in the city. I don't care if I'm the top medical scholar or not. I just don't have to worry about it anymore. Otherwise, I'd be so afraid of being reported every time I helped with a surgery. After all, I don't have this notebook. But it's good now. You can do whatever you want in the future and dominate the Southern District. Yeah, I'll be able to walk sideways from now on. Huamian smiled. That's great news. How should we celebrate? Which hotel should we go to? I have an idea. Let's go to South Hill Manor, okay? Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran haven't been here yet. Not bad, good idea. Qin Chu nodded. I'll call my mom, Jixin, and you and ask them to reconcile. And Xiaowei as well. Okay, whatever you say. Qin Chu looked at Huamin, who was as excited as a child, and felt inexplicably happy as well. Huamin then called Uncle Li. Uncle Li immediately asked the kitchen to prepare dinner. Huamin then called and arranged for dinner to start at 7:30 p.m. Then she and Qin Chu went to buy fruits and seafood. They were extremely busy. On the other side, Wei Liao was originally going to have dinner with Su Yu and the others, but he was hesitant when he received a call from Jiang Xiaowei. What's going on? Xiaowei called and asked me to go to Huamin's house. Why are you going to her house? Tang Chuan was curious. Huamin passed her exam today and wanted to celebrate. She invited Xiaowei to the South Hill Manor, but she's been keeping a close eye on me lately, so she asked me to come along. Oh, that's good. Go ahead. Su Yu nodded. Fuck, why didn't you bring Lord Su along? Wei Liao seemed to be in a difficult position. If Su Yu went, the nature of the situation would be different. Everyone was an adult and understood this principle. It wasn't as simple as brushing him off as a friend. I still have something to do. I have to go back to the old house in a while. You go ahead. Needless to say, Su Yu rejected it himself. 7:35 p.m. In Huamin's home in South Hill Manor, a large round table was filled with 28 dishes. There were Boston lobsters, two-headed abalone, and everything else. Hairy crabs, conch shells, and bamboo shrimp were also extremely fresh. Fruits were already cut and placed on the table. Everyone had a colorful serving of cherries, honeydew, kiwi, and pineapple. The aroma filled the air. Zhu Lingling took a video of the meal and posted it to her WeChat friend circle. Then, she attached a picture, a rich man's feast. Everyone took pictures and posted them on WeChat, having a great time. It was Yang Meirong's first time at her daughter's house, and it was at South Hill Manor. She felt like Granny Lu entering the Grandview Garden. Everything was new to her, and she looked around. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin's red booklet and smiled. As expected of a genius, you got full marks right off the bat. You really don't leave anyone a way out. My life motto is to walk other people's paths and leave them with no way out, Huamin said jokingly. Just then, Jing Zhixin secretly pulled on his sister's sleeve. Sis, come here for a second. What's wrong? Did you say she's here? Why isn't she here yet? Oh, right, I'll call her again. After speaking, Huamin picked up his phone and dialed her number again. Chapter 796. Hey, senior sister. Are you here yet? Not yet. Senior sister, I might not be able to make it. Huang Yu's voice was a little hoarse. What's wrong? I'm not feeling well. I'm really sorry. Oh, it's okay. If you're not feeling well, then rest at home. I'll invite you to dinner one day. After hanging up, Huamin frowned slightly. Now, it wasn't just Zhixin. Even Huamin felt like something was wrong. This wasn't like the little girl who loved to join in on the fun. What on earth happened? What did she say, sis? Zhixin asked anxiously. She can't make it, she said she's not feeling well. I knew it. Zhixin was a little disappointed. Huamian didn't come to the 30-year anniversary celebration because she told her that she was moving. Today, his sister treated her to dinner, but Huang Yu still didn't come. She must be hiding something from him. Don't think too much about it, I'll ask her tomorrow. Okay. Zhixin nodded and returned to the table dejectedly. Huamin and Qin Chu returned to the main seats. Yi Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling, Jiang Xiaowei, Wei Liao, Zhixin, Yang Meirong, and the Qin clan couple. There were a total of 8 people, all of whom were close friends. Of course, Wei Liao was pulled in because of Jiang Xiaowei, but he was actually on Su Yu's side. Come on, let's toast to Dr. Hua's graduation. Andy, you really raised a straight-A student, Jiang Xiaowei said with a smile. Mian has been smart since she was little. I'm still confused. I once told her Uncle Jing that she's not as dumb as me, nor is she as bad as that old guy Hua Jinghai. She's smart and kind-hearted, unlike my daughter. Yang Meirong exclaimed. After hearing this, Huamin and Qin Chu exchanged glances. This was a topic that Huamin was rather sensitive about. However, it seemed that his mother did not know the truth. Huamin probably had a genetic mutation, Gao Ran interjected. Do you think my girl is a gorilla? Genetic mutation? Why is your imagination so rich? Why don't you say she's an alien? Zhu Lingling argued with Gao Ran. I think you look like you're from an alien planet. You must be from Poisonous Tongue Planet. Do people from your constellation have poisonous tongues? You have a sharp tongue? Gao Ran teased. Fuck you. The two of them could make everyone laugh when they quarreled with each other. Everyone can drink to your heart's content tonight. Don't leave at night. There are many guest rooms here. Huamin invited him warmly. Sis, you're blatantly flaunting your wealth. No, I'm flaunting my husband. Qin Chu wrapped his arms around Huamin's neck and said intimately, a few minutes ago, she posted something on her WeChat friend circle and Weibo. It was a photo of her and Qin Chu together. It was the first photo that was posted in public. Zhixin took the photo from a great angle. The couple's faces were pressed together intimately, their smiles were godly. Huamin said, God's gift to you may be late, but it will never be absent. Everyone liked and commented on the post. Even Lu Xing liked it. After the wedding, they added each other on WeChat and liked the post occasionally. Huamin really thought that it was a good thing. Weibo blew up. Wow, you're blinding our eyes. Support Qin Chu, you're so beautiful. To be honest, Lady Qin isn't a beauty, but she's definitely the type that's easy to look at. The more I look at her, the more I like her. I'm definitely your fan. My husband is mine, sob sob, let go of him, you little bitch. You're torturing single people, are you trying to seduce them? In just 10 minutes, there were more than 20,000 comments. Huamin was just a commoner. He didn't even have a verified account on Weibo. He was almost an internet celebrity. He was going to go viral. Huamin was enjoying himself as he scrolled through Weibo. Just then, Su sent him a private message. Congratulations, stupid girl. From now on, you can continue to show off in public. Can't you praise me properly? You don't feel good if you don't say something sarcastic, right? I'm afraid that if I'm too serious, you'll feel awkward, Suyu said. Huamin was indeed silent. Suyu was too serious, and she really couldn't handle it. Huamin. Yeah. I miss you a lot, Suyu said in a raspy voice. Yes, he had 1,000 reasons for wanting to see her, but he was missing an identity that allowed him to see her. He remembered that she said that they weren't even friends. Chapter 797. Every time Suyu was this serious, she didn't know how to reply. Therefore, she could only pretend to be silent. Suyu really missed her and wanted to celebrate with her. He wanted to see her smile, and he wanted to be by her side and watch over her. However, to him, all of these were wishful thinking. What's wrong? Qin Chu leaned over and glanced at Huamin's phone. She had already logged out of Weibo and logged in. Nothing, I just posted a photo of us together. My fans seem to have gone crazy, there are already tens of thousands of comments. Huamin pursed his lips into a smile. With Mr. Qin's looks, he'll definitely cause a commotion if he posts it. Zhu Lingling laughed. At around 10 p.m., everyone finished eating. Huamin really wanted everyone to stay, but most people wouldn't stay outside since it was inconvenient. Gao Ran drove Zhu Lingling home, and Wei Liao drove Jiang Xiaowei home. Jixin and his mother stayed at South Hill Manor because of Huamin's insistence. Mom, when we move to our new place next week, you'll be even closer to me. Huamin leaned on Yang Meirong's shoulder and acted cute. Yeah, I thought it would always be like this, but I didn't expect to be able to bask in your light. Yang Meirong sighed. You and Jixin are the closest people to me, so it's natural for me to be nice to you guys. Don't feel burdened. I know, your Auntie Wu and the others were so jealous when they heard about the new house you guys gave me. Is Auntie Wu's son married? Huamin asked. No, he dated one before, but I think they broke up because they didn't get a wedding gift. Your Auntie Wu likes to meddle in her son's affairs, sometimes even I can't stand it, Yang Meirong nagged. Huamin smiled. If you didn't want to stay and take care of Jixin and me, you would have gone to Beijing University. You wouldn't have gone to a third-rate medical school. You wouldn't have become a nurse after graduation. You wouldn't have been bullied by others. Your Uncle Jing is blessed that you can finally become a doctor. Mian, I'm so proud of you. Seeing that her daughter had been promoted to a first-level doctor, Yang Meirong felt especially emotional. She even shed tears when she spoke of her heartache. Qin Chu and Jixin came back from outside and saw this scene. Why are you crying? Jixin's heart ached. It's nothing. She was just talking about the past. She said that we ruined your sister's future. Otherwise, she would have become more outstanding a long time ago. Why wait until now? It's okay, Mom. Those were all experiences for me. I've never complained about anything. Everyone chooses their own path in life. I already have everything I want. You, Jixin, and Qin Chu are my most beloved family. I'm really grateful for what I have now. I'm very satisfied. Huamin said with tears in his eyes. Qin Chu was moved. He walked over and put his arm around Huamin's waist. Jixin changed the topic and smiled. Mom, it's a pity that you didn't go out and see it. There's a colorful fountain outside. It's so beautiful. There's also a huge amusement park over there. Sis's children will be so happy in the future. They won't have to go out. It's like Disneyland at home. It's so dreamy. At the mention of children, Yang Meirong remembered something and said, Don't worry about work, you two should hurry up. You're not young anymore. I can help you take care of them while I'm still young. Oh, we know. You've said that many times. Huamin's ears were about to grow calluses from hearing this. The next morning, after the family had breakfast, Jixin took his mother back to the old house. Huamin went to South Side. As soon as he entered the office, he saw a bouquet of heavenly fragrant lilies. Just then, he received a WeChat message. Are the flowers pretty? Chapter 798. It was a WeChat message from Huaxiqian. What are you doing? Just as Huamin replied, she heard the office door open. It was silent and gave her a fright. Why are you here so early in the morning? Seeing Huaxiqian suddenly appear behind her, Huamin was extremely surprised. You heartless girl. You didn't even invite me to a celebratory banquet for such a good thing. You'd rather invite Wei Liao than invite me. I've been so good to you. How did you know? Huamin frowned slightly. Director Wu already announced your promotion last night. Everyone knows about it. As the chairman of the Hua family genetics, how could I not know about it? Otherwise, do you think I donated tens of millions to Southside for nothing? Huaxiqian smiled. My business has nothing to do with you. Don't make it sound like we're good friends. At most, we're allies now. When the old man falls, we'll immediately go our separate ways. Little sister Mion, you're burning the bridge after crossing it. No, we're in a mutually beneficial relationship. I'm not burning the bridge. Don't make yourself sound so noble. Fine. Even if you're right, you're a doctor now. You've fulfilled your dream of many years. I'm happy, right? Whatever. After speaking, Huamin sat down in her office and began to pack. President Wu had officially announced yesterday, so from this moment on, she was no longer the head nurse of the orthopedics department. She was going to see neurology patients directly and was going to be Director Li's right-hand woman. In the future, she could really live up to her name when treating Ni Yang. Are you free tonight? Let's have dinner together, my treat. With one hand in her pocket, Huaxiqian looked at Huamin gently. I'm not free, I have to accompany my husband. It's fine if your husband doesn't accompany you for a day. Then I won't spend my time with you. Huamin refused directly. Okay, but I heard that your husband will be attending Song Yisher's party tonight. If you're going, then I'll go too. I'm just there to join in the fun. What banquet? What's Song Yisher? Hearing the name of Song Yisher, Huamin was very sensitive. After rejecting Song Yisher's request that day, she didn't do anything. He thought she was angry. Mayor Song's daughter is back in China. The mayor is so happy that he organized a private party. Many famous people will be there. Even if they don't want to go, they still have to go. After all, it's because of Mayor Song. Mayor Song took care of Qin Chu so much and even gave him a piece of land. Of course, he has to go. Huamin remained silent. Didn't he tell you about this? I never ask him about his work. Oh, okay, then pretend I didn't say anything. After Huaxiqian finished speaking, he was about to leave when he suddenly remembered something. He walked back and picked out a small string of baby's breath from the lilies. Then he put it on Huamin's head. This looks good, it looks good. After speaking, Huaxiqian left. Huamin was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. How old was she? How old was she to play with flowers on her head? And baby's breath? Was Huaxiqian a psycho? Huamin slowly walked out of the orthopedic consultation room with his personal belongings. There were 5 young nurses at the door. Nan was already an old employee, so they all had tears in their eyes. Head nurse, we don't want you to leave. I'm not quitting, I'm just moving upstairs. Huamin smiled. Head nurse, you have to come downstairs and visit us often. Of course, after I'm done with work, I'll treat everyone to a big meal. After leaving the orthopedic consultation room, they headed upstairs. Huamin's phone suddenly rang. He looked down at the caller ID. It was Qin Chu. Chapter 799. Honey, Mayor Song is holding a private cocktail party tonight. Do you want to come with me? To be honest, she was happy that Qin Chu took the initiative to invite her. Okay, I'll come find you after work. Okay, I'll get someone to prepare a dress. Come over early. After hanging up, she suddenly heard someone call her name from behind. Dr. Hua. What's up? Huamin was a little confused when she saw Xie Wan running over, panting. I just went to your office. They said you're no longer in the orthopedics department. Okay, I'll be in the neurology department from now on. If you need anything, come find me here. Xie Wan nodded and handed a black plastic bag to Huamin. Dr. Hua, this is for you. What is it? It's nothing good. I just made it myself. It's a little something. After speaking, Xie Wan stuffed the bag into Huamin's hands and turned around to leave. After interacting with Xie Wan for a while, one would realize that although Xie Wan looked rude, she would sometimes swear. She looked like a shrew, but she was actually quite considerate. She knew that Huamin was paying for her and her son's hospitalization, so she felt very guilty. She accidentally heard from Chief Chi of the Internal Medicine Department, so she worked day and night for the past few days. She had a few blisters on her hands, but she still rushed out. Huamin curiously returned to the neurology office and took out the bag. At that moment, she was a little shocked. It was late autumn, so the weather was getting colder. Many people began to wear scarves and gloves. Ever since Huamin graduated, she hadn't worn those things, so she felt that it was quite childish. Xie Wan gave her a set of milky white heating equipment. There was a long scarf, furry gloves, and a cute little hat. They were all the same color. The stitching looked very novel, but one could tell at a glance that it was handmade. Because there were some places where the details weren't perfect, but it was really beautiful. It seemed like she bought her own wool and knitted it stitch by stitch. Huamin held it in her hands and felt warm inside. She put on the hat and tried it on. It was warm and cute. Who said that Xie Wan was a heartless woman? She wasn't at all. It seemed that there was hatred between her and Ni Yang. That day was just around the corner. Huamin had two happy events today. The first was that he was officially working in the neurology department as a doctor. Director Li was overjoyed and kept telling her this and that. The second thing was that the first hospital had called to say that they had found the J.P. Morgan chase. The J.P. Morgan chase was in S City, which was not far away. There was a hospital that could provide it, but the price was 300,000 yuan. 300,000 yuan was no longer a huge sum to Huamin. She immediately sent someone to fetch it overnight and began to arrange for Shuai's surgery. Mayor Song's private cocktail party was held at the Kempinski Hotel. All the tycoons were present, including Hua Xiqian, Su Yu, and the others. Su Yu had arrived earlier than the rest and was strolling around with a glass of wine in his hand. Near the rooftop, Hua Yanyan was talking to someone in a loud voice. That woman, don't be fooled by her appearance. She's a green tea bitch. Think about it, how good could a mistress' daughter be? Just because she came back to cling on to Qin Chu, she didn't acknowledge her parents anymore. She's not even polite to my dad any. She's so ugly. Su Yu realized that he was talking about Huamin. Ahem. Su Yu coughed lightly. The socialites turned around and were pleasantly surprised to see Su Yu, young Master Su. Young Master Su. Hua Yanyan also greeted him shyly. Hua Yanyan? Su Yu asked. That's me. Hua Yanyan nodded shyly. She was ecstatic. Come here. Su Yu hooked his finger and gestured for her to come over. Hua Yanyan felt like she was in a dream. She couldn't believe it. Then she walked step by step towards Su Yu in her long gown. Chapter 800. She walked up to Su Yu and was pleasantly surprised to see Su Yu's arrogant face. She felt as if her heart was about to stop. In Hua Yanyan's heart, Su Yu was like a god. Normally, he didn't even want to talk to her, but today, he actually took the initiative to talk to her and ask her to come over. She was truly overwhelmed by his favor. Young Master Su. Hua Yanyan opened her mouth and only managed to say two words. Su Yu poured a glass of red wine on her from head to toe. Hua Yanyan's light pink gown was instantly stained by the red wine, and her entire body was covered in stains, making her look very ugly. The socialites behind her were all stunned. Their mouths were wide open, but they didn't dare to make a sound. Hua Yanyan didn't even know what she did wrong to be treated like this. Before she could say anything, Su Yu smiled and said, If I did something wrong, do you think it would still work if I apologized to you? Hua Yanyan didn't know what he meant, but she didn't dare to make a sound. She just stood there in a daze and looked at Su Yu. That's why, don't casually criticize others behind their backs. Verbal abuse can be scary, and some things should stop. After speaking, Suyu turned around and left, without taking another look at Hui Yanyan. It wasn't until Suyu was far away that Hui Yanyan came back to her senses. Did Suyu hear what she said about Huamin? Was that why he stood up for her? She had heard a long time ago that Suyu liked Huamin, and now it seemed like it was true. Hui Yanyan was so angry that her face turned pale. Yin, are you okay? Hurry up and change into a gown. A few socialites pretended to walk over and comfort Hui Yanyan. She was flustered and exasperated, but she didn't dare to make a sound. After all, this was Suyu. Therefore, she could only swallow her anger and go to the hotel lounge to change her clothes before coming out. This dress that cost 70 to 80,000 yuan was not going to be passed down. She had wasted so much time preparing it. Yanyan, what happened? When Xinjiani arrived, she saw Hui Yanyan throwing a tantrum in the lounge. He scolded the waiter of the hotel for not doing a good job. Mom? What a waste of my gown. Then, Hui Yanyan briefly explained what had happened. Xinjiani looked at Hui Yanyan angrily. How many times have I told you? Don't mess with Suyu. Also, don't mess with Huamin, Huasi added. Ever since Huamin pulled his necktie and almost pushed him down the stairs in Tianyu, Huasi was a lot more obedient. It would be a lie if he said he wasn't scared. I don't dare to mess with Suyu, but I do dare to mess with Huamin. That little bitch only knows how to seduce men and stir up trouble. Not only does she have Qin Chu, but she also wants to mess with Suyu. She's so shameless, can't I say a few words? If you want to say something, say it at home. You can't say it here. What do you think today is? It's Mayor Song's treat. He's welcoming his daughter home. Do you think it's your place to mess around? Hurry up and change your clothes. Behave yourself later and don't cause any more trouble. Xinjiani regretted it. Why wasn't her daughter like her? She was so brainless. She never thought about the consequences before doing anything. Compared to Huamin, she was nothing. No wonder Jiang Hong always mocked her for giving birth to a daughter who wasn't like her. By the time Huamin and Qin Chu arrived, 15 minutes had already passed. Therefore, they didn't know what was going on. Huamin wore a black dress and silver heels. Her hair was slightly curly and fluffy because of the hairstylist. She had light makeup on her face, but her aura was still outstanding. Actually, good looks were one thing, but stylists were the real deal. Every time at the Cannes Film Festival, netizens would easily criticize the way celebrities dressed. The most common comment was, did they offend the stylist? It was obvious how important stylists were. Huamin's stylist was Mo Shui, and Ni Yang's personal stylist. She was very famous in China and was hired by Qin Chu at a high price. Therefore, every time she styled Huamin, she was very creative and suited her style and aura. Mayor Song walked over with his daughter. Qin Chu introduced, Uncle Song, this is my wife, Huamin. He introduced them in a grand manner. Chapter 801. Huamin nodded and smiled at Mayor Song and Song Yisher. Hello, Uncle Song. Hello, it's your first time bringing your wife out. You should have introduced her to us a long time ago. When I met your dad overseas, we even talked about you. Mayor Song looked kind and gentle at the private party. He didn't look as serious as he usually did on TV. Perhaps it was because the occasion was different. Song Yisher was wearing a long, pure white gown, looking elegant and graceful. She smiled at Huamin. Thank you for coming. You're welcome. Huamin smiled as well. No one brought up the fact that he stood her up the other day. Song Yisher didn't seem to be angry either. However, the more she was like this, the more Huamin felt uneasy. He preferred women who were more realistic. If they were too fake, it would be even harder to deal with them. Then, Qin Chu took her to greet all the rich and powerful politicians. She smiled in response. Although she never liked socializing for Qin Chu's sake, for her current identity as a young lady, she could accept it. Then, Qin Chu and Mayor Song chatted alone. Huamin didn't want to be there, so he walked around alone with a glass of champagne. However, he didn't expect to run into Hui Yanyan. Hui Yanyan was actually even more brainless than Huasi. Wuxia had scolded her before, but she seemed to have forgotten about it. Especially when Su Yu splashed a glass of wine on her. Therefore, she vented all her anger on Huamin. She yelled impolitely. Huamin turned around and saw the angry Hua Yanyan walking over. He didn't say anything, he didn't want to talk to her. Huamin, did you say something bad about me to Su Yu? Su Yu? What does that have to do with him? Huamin was speechless. You're still lying. You must have said something to him to make him treat me like that. Otherwise, young Master Su wouldn't. What did he do to you? Huamin was very curious. It was a miracle that Su Yu could still talk to Hua Yanyan. You don't have to care about how he treats me. Anyway, you must have instigated him. How shameless are you? You already have a husband, but you still want to seduce another man. You're as cheap as your mother. You speak as if your mother is so noble. Huamin sipped his champagne slowly. In fact, she really didn't want to argue with the other party, but Hua Yanyan was a woman who would always bring her family into the fray. Therefore, she didn't have to care about her face anymore. No matter how bad my mother is, she's still a legitimate wife. Hua Yanyan defended herself. That's right, a legitimate mistress. A mistress who can live under the same roof as First Madam? What? Do you want me to ask Mayor Song to give your mother the Best Mistress Award? Huamin said with a smile. What did you say? How dare you insult my mother? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think you're the one who brought it up. I'm confused. Can't you tell that I really don't want to talk to you? Why do you have to come up and pick a fight with me? Do you feel bad if I don't scold you? Or do you think that you can beat me in an argument? Huamin looked at Hua Yanyan helplessly as if he was looking at an idiot. Do you think I won't slap you? Hua Yanyan casually raised her hand. However, as soon as she raised her hand, someone grabbed it from behind. Then, he flung her hand to the side. Qin Chu chatted with Mayor Song for a bit. Worried that Huamin would be bored, he turned around and saw Hua Yanyan arguing with her. Seeing Hua Yanyan raise her hand, Qin Chu didn't say anything and walked over. Are you okay, honey? Qin Chu looked at Huamin gently. Huamin shook his head. Mr. Qin, don't be fooled by her, she's a green tea bitch. After marrying you, she still didn't know her place. She even seduced Su Yu. Everyone in our circle knows about this. Don't be a cuckold. Hua Yanyan spoke without thinking, trying to drive a wedge between Qin Chu and Huamin. Chapter 802. Huamin smiled slightly and didn't even bother to explain. As a member of the Hua family, you shouldn't think before you speak. It's the misfortune of the Hua family. I'll let you go this time, but if I see you lay a hand on my wife again, I promise you that your limbs will be crippled, and you'll wish you were dead. Qin Chu rarely threatened people, much less women. However, Hua Yanyan, this idiot, crossed his bottom line. Hua Yanyan looked at Qin Chu in fear, suddenly losing her confidence. Just then, Huasi ran over, grabbed Hua Yanyan, and left, afraid that she would cause more trouble. This kind of party is boring, right? He asked. A little. Huamin smiled. Then I'll talk to Uncle Song in a bit, and then we'll leave. Okay. Huamin nodded. Then, Qin Chu walked towards Mayor Song. Song Yisher, on the other hand, walked over and stood beside Huamin. I think you have some misunderstandings about me. Miss Song, you're overthinking. Huamin, there's really nothing going on between Qin Chu and me. Don't be so nervous, you don't even have the guts to eat with me. I'm not a wolf, I won't be a threat to you. I'm actually quite insecure. It's normal for me to overthink things. It's your business whether or not you feel anything, but it's my business whether or not I'm overthinking things. Miss Song can't be so overbearing as to not let me overthink things. Qin Chu is my husband. Huamin said this with a smile. Song Yisher was a little surprised. She was so smart to be able to say these things so perfectly without offending anyone. Huamin, you're very smart. Thank you for exaggerating. But Before Song Yisher could finish, someone interrupted her. Little sister Mian, I didn't expect you to be friends with Miss Song. The two of them turned around and saw Huasiqian in a black tuxedo. This is? Song Yisher didn't seem to recognize Huasiqian. Hello, Miss Song. I'm Huasiqian. Oh, the young master of the Hua Corporation. Song Yisha finally realized when she heard the name. Mian, you know Miss Song? Why didn't you introduce her to me earlier? I love pretty girls. Hua Xiqian loved to joke around, and he was also known as a playboy in the industry. Therefore, no one found it strange that he would joke around like this. Don't you already have Mo Shuer? Hua Min glanced at him. TSK, you're spreading rumors again. Didn't GK poach Mo Shuer? She's filming and going on stage, she doesn't deserve to go on a date with me. Then Hua Xiqian looked at Song Yisha and smiled. How old is Miss Song today? 26 years old, Song Yisha replied elegantly. Not bad, not bad. You're young and pretty. Mayor Song is so lucky to have such an outstanding daughter. Young Master Hua, you flatter me. Miss Song, if you don't mind, would you like to dance with me? Just then, waltz music started playing. Hua Xiqian's invitation was very sudden, and it slightly surprised Song Yisha. Even Hua Min was a little surprised. Although Hua Xiqian was a playboy, he wasn't the type to joke around with strangers. However, today, he was especially enthusiastic about Song Yisha. Song Yisha really wanted to dance with Qin Chu, but she didn't expect Hua Xiqian to be so bold. They didn't even know each other, yet he dared to invite her, plus, there were so many people watching. If she refused, it would be embarrassing for everyone. Chapter 803. Okay. Even though Song Yisha didn't want to, she still agreed because of her pride. Hua Xiqian held Song Yisha's hand and walked to the center of the dance floor. Before he left, he looked at Hua Min meaningfully. His eyes looked like they were smiling, as if he was trying to express something. Hua Min never thought that Hua Xiqian was this cute. He did help her by taking Song Yisha away from her. Qin Chu wanted to say goodbye and leave, but Mayor Song was in a good mood and kept talking about work with him. Qin Chu had no choice but to continue accompanying Mayor Song. Occasionally, he would turn around and see Hua Min sitting in a corner, drinking champagne. Wei Liao and Jiang Shaowei were supposed to come as well. Jiang Shaowei was on her period, so she was no longer in the mood. Wei Liao saw that she wasn't coming out, so he didn't dare to come out either. Tang Chuan went abroad to have fun, leaving Su Yu alone. Su Yu sat across from Hua Min. He held a glass of red wine and walked across the dance floor, looking at Hua Min affectionately. She sat there alone, in silence. However, he couldn't go over. After all, there were too many people here. If any rumors got out, Hua Min would definitely be troubled. Just then, two women walked past Hua Min. One of them suddenly said provocatively, "Hey, isn't this the rich lady Qin? You bought the women in the coffee shop just because you were angry with us? Actually, you're the same. Why do you have to do this? Everyone says that you're a generous person, but you forbade us from drinking coffee in your coffee shop. That's not very nice of you." Hua Min slowly raised his head and saw the two women who gossiped with Song Yisha the other day. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Whether I'm generous or not depends on who I'm talking to. My attitude depends on how you treat me. If you can't even show me basic respect, then why should I care about your dignity? What a joke. I'm not God. Why should I forgive your thoughtless words and stupid actions? Hua Min had always been good at arguing. That day, he saw how arrogant they were when they took out their gold cards and tried to kick him and Ling Ling out. Everyone said that people shouldn't go overboard and that they should give themselves some leeway, but if they didn't give him any leeway, why should he give them any leeway? Hua Min, don't be arrogant. I'm telling you, when Xianxia comes back, you're going to cry. You don't know? Xianxia, you as her daughter-in-law, she's you as hers. Estes, she's T2's, estu, that's weird. Wasn't it a matter of two people living together? I want to be on good terms with my mother-in-law, but if I can't be on good terms with a man, it's useless, right? After all, I'm sharing a bed with my husband, not my mother-in-law. Also, don't talk nonsense. Miss Song is a woman of status. I don't want you to accuse her of being a mistress. Qin Chu and I are married. Even if I die, I'll still be Qin Chu's wife. Don't think too highly of yourself. Men are all the same, they don't cherish what they have. Qin Chu married you because he couldn't accept it back then? Once he gets sick of you, who do you think you are? You'll just be a pitiful woman from a rich family, a man's accessory. Xiaoxia's family is powerful and she's pretty. Sooner or later, she'll kick you out, bitch. Okay, I'll wait for the day I get kicked out. Huamin smiled slightly, not angry at all. She suddenly realized something. How did these unrelated people know what she was doing? Did they see through Song Yishi's ambition? Or did Song Yishi reveal something? Or did Song Yishi tell them to do this? Otherwise, why would a socialite who had nothing to do with her say so much? Her analysis was so logical. This didn't sound like something a pair of brainless socialites would say. Just then, one of the socialites named Gao Shui suddenly dropped the wine glass in her hand. It smashed right into Huamin's champagne glass. The two glasses collided, and the sound of glass shattering could be heard. Huamin's fair hand was cut by the glass shards, and blood immediately gushed out. Su Yu saw everything clearly. He didn't care too much and immediately walked over. He asked nervously, "Are you okay?" Chapter 804. I'm fine. Huamin stood up, picked up a wet towel, and pressed it against his wound. Perhaps it was because of the rapid bleeding, the wet towel was soaked with blood. Su Yu looked up and glared at the two women with murderous eyes. I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose, I just wasn't paying attention, so, the cup, shut up. Su Yu's eyes were about to spit fire. Who would believe that they didn't do it on purpose? They had been standing next to Huamin for a while now, and it seemed like they had a lot to say. That unfriendly gaze and that action were all filled with hostility. I'm fine. Don't worry. Huamin could tell that Su Yu was too nervous, so he tried to comfort him. However, Su Yu didn't listen to him at all. He threw the wine glass in his hand, at the two women's ankles. The wine glass shattered, glass shards flew everywhere. Both women's feet were affected and scratched. They're bleeding. One of the women screamed. Only then did everyone's attention. Song Yishi, who was dancing in the middle of the dance floor, nodded at Wuxia apologetically. I'm sorry, I think something happened to my friend, I'll go take a look. Wuxia nodded and didn't say anything else. His gaze fell on Huamin's injured hand for a while, but he didn't say anything. Song Yishi walked over and looked at the two injured women. Xiaoxiwei, are you okay? Before they could say anything, Su Yu coldly glanced at their injured feet and said, I'm so sorry, my hand slipped. Young Master Su, your hand didn't slip, right? You fell on purpose, right? Song Yishi was a little angry. Su Yu couldn't keep his cool. He did fall on his own accord and he used a lot of strength. That was why he was caught red-handed. So what if I did? Su Yu looked at Song Yishi provocatively. His eyes were saying, I fell, so what can you do about it? So what if he was Mayor Song? Aren't you going to wag your tail like a dog when you see my grandfather? The Su family had always been the king of this city. Su Yu had never put anyone in his eyes since he was a child, let alone Song Yishi. I wonder, why is Lord Su doing this? Why can't we just talk it out? Song Yishi said as she looked at Huamin's injured finger with a meaningful look. It's useless to talk nicely. Some people just can't be given face. Su Yu was still as arrogant as ever. At this moment, Qin Chu also walked over from not far away. The first thing he saw was Huamin's hand. Honey, what's going on? These two ladies, maybe they were too excited when they saw me, so they dropped their wine glasses and smashed mine. Then I was accidentally injured. Huamin still had a faint smile on her face. She wasn't so pretentious as to cry out over a little injury. Heartbroken, Qin Chu pulled open the wet towel and looked at the wound. He frowned and felt bad for her. He glanced at the two women's faces, and his gaze was as cold as ice that had been frozen for thousands of years. The two women were so scared that they retreated. Song Yishi immediately explained, Qin Chu, they're my friends. I don't think they meant to offend Huamin. Yes, we didn't do it on purpose. The two women began to play innocent. Qin Chu was about to say something when Huamin suddenly grabbed his hand. Honey, I'm a little tired. Let's go home, okay? Upon hearing Huamin's words, Qin Chu turned around and lovingly touched her face. Okay. Then he held onto Huamin's hand and walked up to Mayor Song. Uncle Song, my wife isn't feeling well. We'll leave first. We'll visit you another day. Okay, take care. Mayor Song really liked Qin Chu's personality. Although he was a little cold, he was reliable. He had a good reputation and didn't mess around. He always wanted to marry his daughter to Qin Chu, but he didn't expect him to marry his high school classmate for over half a year. This was truly a pity. Qin Chu left the party with Huamin. Before Huamin left, she looked at Su Yu worriedly. He really lost his composure because of her. Huamin hoped that after she left, he would calm down. After all, there were so many pairs of eyes watching. In the car, Qin Chu looked at Huamin's side profile with heartache and asked, "Why didn't you let me teach them a lesson?" Chapter 805. Oh, we were bitten by a dog. Are we supposed to bite the dog back? Huamin replied with a smile. You always have your reasons. I just don't think it's necessary. They were just angry. But this is a fight between women. If you step in, people will gossip about you and think you're not magnanimous enough. As for me, I'm the first lady of the city, so I won't stoop down to their level. I won't fight with them like a shrew, right? Wouldn't that make me look like a nobody? I'm a doctor now. Fine, Dr. Huo you win. Qin Chu looked at Huamin lovingly. Does it still hurt? It doesn't hurt. It's just a small cut. I'll just apply iodophor when I get home. Okay. Since Huamin was injured, Qin Chu and Mayor Song ended their conversation about the king of the land. It was obvious how important Huamin was to him. He didn't care about his career or his job. The two women were Song Yisher's good friends back in China. They studied abroad together in Italy, so they had a good relationship. The two women came back to China a few years earlier than Song Yisher, so they were very close to each other. Inside the hotel lounge, "You two, don't purposely cause trouble for Huamin. She's very good, you two are no match for her." Song Yisher looked at the two women and said, Sure, we're just fighting for you. You've only liked one person all these years, how could she beat you to it? You're the one who met him first, you've known him since you were 8 years old. Plus, Lady Qin likes you so much, and your dad has been taking care of the Qin family all these years. Shouldn't you two be a couple? I don't think I'm that lucky. Song Yisher was a little disappointed. What do you mean, lucky? You can't just accept it. If you like something, you have to take it back. That woman has nothing, and she's born to be pretentious. I've hated her for a long time. Sure, if one day you can take Qin Chu back, she'll be dumbfounded. Then we'll be able to vent our hatred. What are you fighting for? Don't talk nonsense. All right, you two should go to the hospital to have your wounds checked. After the party, the two women left the hotel in a Maserati. Su Yu followed behind them in his black Lamborghini. The two women deliberately targeted Huamin, but Huamin didn't stoop down to their level because of his reputation and status. But that didn't mean that he could swallow his anger. Thinking about the wound on Huamin's finger, Su Yu still felt his chest tighten. At an intersection, a red light appeared. The Maserati stopped for the red light. The Lamborghini behind them was caught off guard and crashed into them. The car in front of them was knocked to the side of the road. The car almost flipped over. The two women in the car were scared out of their wits and screamed. Su Yu got out of the car, walked up to them, and said coldly, "I'm so sorry, I didn't step on the brakes." Seeing that it was Su Yu who crashed into them, the two women swallowed back the words they wanted to say. Some of the onlookers who didn't know what happened called the police, and the traffic police arrived in time. Seeing that it was Su Yu, they were all very polite. "Young Master Su, are you okay?" The captain of the traffic police nodded and bowed. "I'm fine. I didn't step on the brakes and crashed into them." "I'm glad you're okay." The captain was scared out of his wits. If something happened to Su Yu, Lord Su would slaughter everyone in the city. He was the only descendant of the Su family. "I'm in a hurry, so I'm leaving now. You guys can examine it. How much do you want to pay?" "Just send the bill to Imperial Star." After speaking, Su Yu got into his car and drove off. The two women were so scared that their legs went numb, and they were still in shock. In Sea City, there was no one to mess with but Su Yu. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know what would happen if you died. The news of Su Yu's Lamborghini crashing into a socialite quickly spread in the circle. After Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei finished talking, she immediately sent a WeChat message to Huamin. Huamin had just finished treating his wound and was sitting on the bed. Qin Chu was taking a shower. Lord Su was angry because of you, right? Jiang Xiaowei asked via WeChat. What happened? Huamin didn't seem to know anything. Chapter 806. I heard that the two women who offended you at the party were almost knocked over by Su Yu. They were scared out of their wits. Huamin's expression changed slightly after he read the news. Wasn't Su Yu overreacting a bit? Did he have to? Didn't he just get revenge for her by smashing a glass? Why did he have to crash their car? How dangerous was that? What if someone died? Luckily, the two women were driving a Maserati. If they were driving a Xiali, the car would have been crushed. They would probably be in the morgue right now. It seemed like she had to talk to Su Yu when she had time. She couldn't be so willful all the time. When Qin Chu came out of the shower, Huamin was already lying on the bed. Only Huamin could see Qin Chu's perfect body. His abs were so perfect that it made her drool. Honey, yeah. Qin Chu looked at her as he dried his hair. Say, we've been doing it for so long, why haven't we had a baby yet? Ha! Qin Chu couldn't help but chuckle. Why are you laughing? I can't believe you're a medical student. You know how complicated it is to get pregnant. It's not that easy. But I think it's easy for other people. Many couples get pregnant right after they get married. Oh right, there are even celebrities who get pregnant before they get married. It's all so fast. So? Qin Chu looked at her. So, do you think one of us is infertile? Qin Chu was speechless. Huamin's words made Qin Chu speechless. How about we go to the hospital for a checkup? No, it's embarrassing. Hey, what's so embarrassing about that? We've only been married for less than a year. Why are you in such a hurry? Isn't it nice to just be the two of us? Qin Chu was never in a hurry. He just felt that since they didn't have a baby now, they should enjoy their private time together. If they had a baby, they would welcome it anytime. Sai, you're right. After the baby is born, I think we'll be very busy. They say that pregnancy makes a woman stupid for 3 years. I wonder if I'll be so forgetful when I'm pregnant. Huamin smiled. The next morning after breakfast, the two of them went to work. When Huamin went to the ICU, Xiewan was reading a storybook to Shuai Shuai. It was the children's version of Journey to the West. Shuai Shuai. Huamin walked in with a smile. Sister Hua. Shuai Shuai shouted excitedly as he leaned against the bed. How was it today? Do you feel uncomfortable? No. Mom read me a story. It was sent by Sister Chi-Chi from Director Li's house. She even brought me a lot of books. Shuai Shuai said excitedly to Huamin. Huamin held a box and handed it to Shuai Shuai. Look, do you like it? Wow, remote-controlled racing car. When the little boy saw the toy car, he was as excited as a little girl who liked Barbie dolls. Shuai Shuai had never had a toy of his own, and Xiewan didn't have the ability to do so either. It's for you. Thank you, sister. Shuai Shuai hugged the toy lovingly. Xiewan was wearing a plain shirt, black pants, and small cloth shoes. She stood up and said embarrassedly, Dr. Hua, I'm sorry for the expense again. It's not an expense, as long as the child likes it. Alright, I came here today to tell you guys some good news. Is the surgery ready? Xiewan asked excitedly. Huamin nodded. The surgeon from City S is a good match for Shuai Shuai. I had a meeting with a few of the chief surgeons to discuss it, and we think the surgery will be ready tomorrow morning. That's great, thank you, Dr. Hua. Xiewan excitedly grabbed Huamin's hand, her throat a little choked up. You're welcome, but I have to remind you that it depends on Shuai Shuai's reaction after the surgery. Most of the time, it'll be fine, but if there's any rejection, you'll probably have to undergo a second surgery. Huh? There's such a situation? Yeah, after all, the surgeon was provided by a stranger, and we're not related by blood, so we can't make any guarantees. But don't feel pressured. I'm sure Shuai Shuai will recover. Okay. Xiewan held Huamin's hand with tears in her eyes. She was so excited that she didn't know what to do. Over the past few days, the mother and son had been living and eating at Southside, and they had everything in the room. Shuai could also take his medicine and injections on time every day. Xie felt like the world had become a beautiful place. Miss Xie, if Shuai recovers after the surgery, then? Huamin paused. Chapter 807. I know, I'll do what I promised you. Xie didn't seem to have forgotten her promise. But I don't think Ni Yang will forgive you so easily. That's the key. Huamin said worriedly. Xie froze slightly and fell silent. How's he doing? Xie asked, which was rare of her. He's doing well, his condition is stable, but he's still a little depressed. He's not interested in anything. I asked the company to arrange some relaxing projects for him, and sometimes he'll go overseas to film. It's like a vacation. But that's not the key. The knot in his heart is you, the years you abandoned him. I know I've wronged him, I'll think of a way to make it up to him. Okay, we'll talk about it after Shuai's surgery. Once you're done with this, you'll be able to deal with the issue between you and Ni Yang. Okay. Then, Huamin left the room. Dr. Hua, someone's looking for you, a nurse called out. A nurse yelled. Huamian put on her glasses and walked towards the outpatient hall. From afar he saw two skinny old men standing there with bags on their backs. Uncle Ning, Auntie Ning? Huamin was a little surprised to see Ning Ziyuan's parents here. Mian, we finally found you. We went to the first hospital, but they said you were here. We took a few buses and almost missed our stop, but we finally found you. Uncle Auntie, why are you here? Although Huamin and Ning Ziyuan were like strangers, Huamin had always treated Ning Ziyuan well. However, he had always treated Ning's parents well. They were a pair of honest old people who were not picky or snobbish. They were honest and treated Huamin well. Don't mention it, it's a long story. Uncle, Auntie, you guys haven't eaten yet, right? Let's go, I'll take you guys out to eat. Huamian looked at her watch. It was just past lunchtime, but it seemed like the two of them hadn't eaten yet. No, we brought steamed buns, we'll just take a bite. You don't have to spend money. The old couple was embarrassed and insisted on not going. Uncle, Auntie, it's okay. My salary is quite high now. I'm not afraid of spending money. In the end, Huamin ignored their objections and drove them to a nearby Chinese restaurant. She ordered 6 dishes and 2 plates of dumplings. The two old men kept saying that it was enough. Huamin felt sad when he saw that they were so poor. Mian, are you still in contact with Ziyuan? No, Huamin answered honestly. Then what should we do? Auntie Ning began to wipe her tears. What's wrong? Auntie, what happened? Don't cry. Ziyuan wasn't home that day, and Xiaoxue didn't seem to like us very much. Your uncle and I didn't stay over either, so we left right after dinner. We've been missing our granddaughter a lot lately. Maybe it's because we're getting older, so we wanted to visit her, but when we got there, we found out that the house had been sold. Xiaoxue had moved out, so we went to look for Ziyuan. The new house that he had prepared for you guys had been rented out, but we couldn't get through to his cell phone, so we couldn't find him. We went to look for him at work, and only then did we find out that he had been fired from the hospital. What happened? Auntie Wu spoke with snot and tears. Huamin listened quietly. It seemed like the two old men still didn't know that Wu Xiaoxue and Ning Ziyuan were divorced. They also didn't know that Wu Xiaoxue had moved to Chicago with her daughter. It would be even more difficult for them to see their granddaughter in the future. Asking a farmer couple to go to the United States was like a pipe dream. Uncle Ning put down his chopsticks and looked at Huamin. Mian, you're an honest child. You must know what happened, right? Did Xiaoxue and Ziyuan get into a fight? What happened to them? It wasn't easy for us to come here. We couldn't find our granddaughter or our son, so we had no choice but to ask you. Please don't think that we're troublesome. Uncle, Auntie, you're treating me like an outsider. Even if I'm not with Ziyuan, I'll always treat you guys as my family. Mian, then tell Auntie Ning what happened to Ziyuan. Huamin didn't have the heart to answer the two old men's questions. He didn't know where to start. Chapter 808. Mian, are you hiding something from us? Upon seeing Huamin's hesitation, the two elders became even more suspicious. Uncle, Auntie, I'm not hiding anything from you. The truth is, to be honest, I haven't contacted Ziyuan in a long time. We haven't even seen each other, so I really don't know how he's doing. Then can you help us ask President Wu? I heard that President Wu is Xiaoxue's uncle. We don't have any ulterior motives, we just want to see our granddaughter. The old man looked at Huamin, almost begging her. Huamin felt a little sad. Mian, Auntie knows you're a good girl. Can you help me and your uncle? We know that Brat Ziyuan did you wrong and didn't cherish you, but we hope that you can help us contact President Wu since we've been good to you, okay? We went to his office, but his assistant stopped us and refused to see us. The two of them said pitifully. President Wu was very busy every day, so it was normal that he didn't see outsiders. Plus, to the Wu family, Ning Ziyuan had hurt Wu Xiaoxue too deeply, so they didn't want to have anything to do with the Ning family. Huamin only knew that Ning Ziyuan had been fired, but she didn't know where he went. He originally wanted to say a few words to brush them off and send them home first. However, it seemed like they wouldn't give up until all hope was gone. They still wanted to talk to President Wu. President Wu is very busy. He travels a lot, so maybe he's not at the hospital? Mian, if you really know something, just tell us. Don't hide it from us. Even if we go home today, we'll come back in a while. We miss our granddaughter. Upon hearing this, Huamin fell silent for a few seconds, then she slowly said, Uncle, Auntie, don't come back. Wu Xiaoxue already moved out. Where did she move to? Did she have a fight with Ziyuan? We apologize on his behalf. Auntie Ning said anxiously, it's not as simple as a fight. Huamin really didn't have the heart to tell them the cruel truth. What about it? Are they living separately? Auntie Ning asked. They're not living apart. They have already completed the divorce procedures. Finally, Huamin said the cruel truth with great difficulty. Auntie Ning almost fainted when she heard this. Uncle Ning's expression also changed drastically. Oh my God. Why is that? How long has it been since they got married? Why are you getting divorced? Aunt Ning wailed, ignoring the stares of the people around her. What about my granddaughter? Uncle Ning's fingers were trembling. He couldn't even hold the wine glass steadily. The child and Xiaoxue have gone to America. The whole family has left. America? After the two old men heard this, their eyes flashed with despair. Perhaps they all knew that America was a place that was out of their reach. Then, what about Ziyuan? Uncle Ning asked again. I'm not sure either. I only heard that he made a mistake during a cataract surgery on a patient and was fired by President Wu. He's no longer in the first hospital. How could this be? The two old men were devastated. In the blink of an eye, their daughter-in-law and granddaughter left the country, their daughter-in-law divorced their son, and their son was fired from the hospital. Then how can we contact Ziyuan? Should we call the police? Uncle Ning sighed and said, Uncle, I don't think Ziyuan would be in trouble. Maybe he's just in a bad mood and wants to hide for a few days. You're his parents, he'll definitely contact you. If we call the police and make a big deal out of it, it won't be good for him. Maybe he'll find a new job. You have a point. Lin Fan nodded. Then Auntie Ning cried and Uncle Ning fell silent. Uncle Auntie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hide it from you. I just didn't want to hurt you. Huamin felt very guilty. Chapter 809. It's okay, we know you're doing this for our own good. But now that we know what's going on. We won't foolishly come looking for our granddaughter again. Mian, since we've made things clear, we won't disturb you any longer. Then, the two old men stood up. Auntie Ning handed a dirty bag to Huamin. These are the mountain produce we brought this time. Some wild mushrooms and bracken. We picked them ourselves in the mountains, washed them, and dried them for winter. Since we can't find them, you can keep them, as long as you don't mind. No, Uncle, I don't mind, it's just that it's not easy for you guys. You're already so old, but you still have to pick them from the mountains. You should keep them for yourselves. No, we don't have anything else, but we have a lot of these things. You city people call them green food. Keep them, we have a lot more. Ignoring Huamin's objections, Uncle Ning stuffed the bag into Huamin's hands. Uncle An, I'll drive you guys to the coach station, so you don't have to take the bus for too long. Then, Huamin drove the two old men to the coach station and bought them tickets, some food and water. Finally, Huamin took out 3,000 yuan and handed it to Auntie Ning. She rarely carried cash with her and only had around 3,000 yuan in her wallet. Most of the time, she used her credit card. Auntie, take this money and eat something good with my uncle. You're old, don't worry about your health. No, we can't take it. Kids, it's not easy for you to earn money. It's okay, take it, Uncle Annie. To be honest, I have a good job now, and I'm married. The husband I found is very good, and I don't lack money. Ziyuan's not doing too well right now, don't worry too much. I hope he can get back on his feet. Take this money, it's a small token of my appreciation. It was obvious that the two old men of the Ning family didn't want to take it. They kept on arguing with Huamin, and it was very intense. However, Huamin really wanted to give it to them. She suddenly felt sorry for Ning Ziyuan's parents. She had worked hard for her son all her life, but in the end, she couldn't even see her granddaughter. Unable to resist Huamin's insistence, the two tremblingly took the money and carefully put it in their pockets. Then she shook Huamin's hand gratefully. My child, you have a kind heart. The Bodhisattva will bless you. We don't have much at home, but we do have a lot of free-range eggs, wild vegetables, and mushrooms. Whenever you want to eat, just drive over. We promise you'll have enough. All right. Huamin smiled. In the end, she watched as the two old people's bus left. Huamin felt terrible. She liked Ning Ziyuan's parents very much. They were simple and kind. It was a pity that they didn't have a son who didn't make them worry. It was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon when they returned to South Side. Just as Huamin was about to head upstairs, his phone rang. Sis, are you at work? Yes, what's wrong? Brother-in-law's mother is here again. She's so annoying, she's fighting with her again. After Jing Jixin finished speaking, Huamin couldn't wait to go downstairs. Then he drove back to the old house. The yard was filled with neighbors. This time, Qin Chu's mother came alone. She was dressed in designer clothes and carried an Louis Vuitton bag in her hand. She cursed out loud in the yard. When Huamin returned home, he heard the most vicious sentence. Your daughter is a chicken that can't lay eggs. How long has she been married? She can't even lay a single egg. I'm telling you, the Qin family doesn't want a daughter-in-law like her. If she can't have any children, then get out of here as soon as possible. Don't think of using the name of a young lady of the Qin family to cheat people every day. She's so full of herself. After hearing this, Huamin felt very bad. Sis, you're back? Jixin saw Huamin and immediately ran over. Chapter 8:10. You came back just in time. Come on, tell everyone, did I wrong you? How long have you been married to my son? You didn't let my son come home and tied him to your bed every day. You didn't even give birth to a child. How can you face our ancestors by doing this? Lady Qin was originally isolated and helpless, and she didn't have the courage to continue fighting. However, Song Yisher's return to the country was like a shot of adrenaline to her. She immediately came back to life and began her ridiculous life of slandering Huamian. Huamin ignored her and walked up to Yang Merung. Mom, are you okay? I'm fine, don't worry. I don't need to lower myself to her level. What kind of person am I? Make yourself clear. You're so poor that you hate the rich, and you have the nerve to criticize me? Being in-laws with someone like you, I must have had 8 lifetimes of bad luck. Lady Qin became more and more agitated as she spoke, and she pointed around the yard. She didn't care about what the people around her thought or said. After all, Yang Merong had been here for a long time and had a good relationship with everyone. Auntie Wu couldn't stand it anymore. She walked over and pointed at Lady Qin. So what if you're rich? Poor people like us don't welcome you. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk to me like that? Do you know who I am? I don't care who you are. Anyways, your words are worse than farts. We don't want to see you, we don't want to get a needle in our eye. Auntie Wu was a commoner, so it was natural for her to be a little rude. However, it was very satisfying. Yeah, leave. You're not welcome here. Jing Jixin also stood on Auntie Wu's side and ordered her to leave. Huamin, is this how you treat your elders? Lady Qin didn't want to let go and targeted Huamin. Huamin poured a glass of water for his mother, who looked pale, and he turned around to look at Mrs. Qin and said, I'm already being very polite to you. I thought you would have some self-awareness. After all, you're highly educated. Since you keep saying that you're from a noble family, then you should pay attention to your words and actions, instead of cursing like a shrew. That's all because of you. You're a chicken that can't lay eggs. You're really a disgrace to the Qin family. Lady Qin's words were so vicious, normal people wouldn't be able to take it. Huamin was not a celestial being, so she felt terrible too. However, she couldn't admit defeat, so she gritted her teeth and said, Please. We haven't even figured out the situation yet. How do you know that I'm the one who's sick and not Qin Chu? What? How dare you insult my son? How could my son have that kind of disease? You must be infertile. Don't say things like that too early. I think that since you're so ruthless, maybe even God wants you dead. You should leave yourself some leeway. I'm already so old, do I need you to teach me that? Who do you think you are? Lady Qin was annoyed. It doesn't matter who I am, what matters is look at yourself in the mirror before you talk about others. Your husband left you, and your son didn't let you attend the anniversary party because he was afraid that you'd ruin it. None of your rich friends came to visit you. I've never seen a failure like you in my life. Huamin shouldn't have said such harsh words, but if he didn't, Lady Qin wouldn't let it go. Sure enough, after Huamin finished speaking, Lady Qin's expression turned ugly. She was so angry that her finger trembled as she pointed at Huamin. How dare you, this vixen, lecture me? You should leave my family and I don't want to see you. We don't want anything more unpleasant to happen. Yeah, you should leave. I feel bad whenever I see you, Jixin said. Jixin was the one who said this. He had always wondered why his brother-in-law, who was such a good person, had such a weird mother. The neighbors also helped Huamin and pushed Lady Qin out. Maybe it was because her shoes were too high, but when she went out, Lady Qin accidentally slipped and fell. Then she fell to the ground. Chapter 8:11. To Huamin's surprise, the first person to arrive was Song Yisher. Lady Qin didn't immediately call the ambulance. Instead, she called Song Yisher. She was driving a white Audi Q5 and was wearing a coffee-colored long trench coat. Sure. Lady Qin burst into tears when she saw Song Yisher, like a child who had been wronged. What's wrong? Mama Qin? Song Yisher's voice was extremely gentle. Huamin hit me. Lady Qin pointed at Huamin and began to throw a tantrum. Huamin was helpless, but he wasn't surprised by her reaction. Song Yisher looked up at Huamin. Huamin, what's going on? Why did Mama Qin fall here? Song Yisher almost asked, Why did she fall in front of your house? What happened? She fell by accident. It has nothing to do with me or my family. Also, she was the one who came looking for trouble and humiliated my family. This isn't the first time. Hurry up and take her away. My mom doesn't feel well when she sees her. Her blood pressure is going to rise soon. Huamin was implying that Song Yisher should hurry up and take her away. His mom was going crazy when she saw her. I'm not leaving. Even if I die, I'm going to die here. My son will know how evil you are when he sees you. You still want to kill me, you damned uneducated woman. Lady Qin sat on the ground and yelled at Song Yisher. Song Yisher held her arm and said, Mama Qin, I'll take you to the hospital for an x-ray. Your foot is swollen. You can't go on like this. Although Lady Qin was reluctant to leave, Song Yisher insisted on taking her to the hospital and helped her into the car. Before she left, Song Yisher walked up to Huamin and said, I'm sorry, Huamin. Mama Qin has a short temper. Sometimes she acts like a child. I apologize on her behalf for causing trouble to you and Auntie. Then, Song Yisher respectfully bowed to Huamin's mother. No, it has nothing to do with you. You don't have to be so polite. Besides, I'm her daughter-in-law. Huamin couldn't understand why Song Yisher would apologize. What did it have to do with her? There were only two possibilities for her to do this. First, she was really very polite. She apologized for everything, just like the Japanese. Second, she was pretending to be magnanimous. She wanted others to think that she was closer to the Qin family, as if she was Qin Chu's wife. The answer was obvious. Huamin didn't think that a woman who lived in a barbaric country like Italy for a long time would be as humble and willing to apologize as the Japanese. The only possibility was that she was playing tricks to gain everyone's sympathy and affection, as well as her closeness to the Qin family. This woman was really scary. After Song Yisher left, Jing Jixin secretly asked, "Sis, who's that woman? Why does she seem so close to Lady Qin?" Mayor Song's daughter. Apparently, she's Qin Chu's childhood friend. She's the woman Mrs. Qin Chu loves the most. She treats her like her daughter-in-law. Huamin summarized a lot of things in one sentence. Jing Jixin's mouth formed a big O. Really? How come I didn't know about it? She just came back. Even I just found out. How would you know? Huamin smiled. How can you still smile? She's your #1 love rival. I trust Qin Chu. But brother-in-law doesn't seem like the type to change his mind. But the problem is, I'm afraid that woman will keep seducing him. You know, most men think with their lower bodies. What if brother-in-law can't control himself? Jing Jixin was still quite worried. That woman was really pretty, and she was Mayor Song's daughter. She was too competitive. If he can't control himself, then let them be. Huamin smiled. Really? Sis, are you that kind? Jixin looked at his sister in disbelief, his face full of disdain. Chapter 8:12. I'll just chop them into pieces and feed them to the dogs, Huamin added. Jixin, that's more like my sister. Ha, what do you think your sister is like? For a bold and powerful woman? No, she's a psychopathic murderer, Jixin said and ran away. Huh? You little brat, come back here. I promise I won't smash your head in. How dare you call me a psychopathic murderer? Your imagination is off the charts. After Lady Qin left, the atmosphere became much more relaxed. After a few words of persuasion from the neighbors, they all dispersed. Mian, come here. Huamin walked over and saw that his mother's expression didn't look too good. Although that crazy woman's words today were harsh, she's right. You guys have been married for a while now, so you need to hurry up and get a child. I know, Huamin pouted and replied. You work at the hospital, so it's convenient for you to get a checkup. You can do it yourself when you have time. If you're not sick, then ask Qin Chu to do it. Huamin felt awkward. Just do a checkup. If you're sick, then treat it. If you're not, then even better. I'll do as you say. I'll do it right away. People will talk about you if you don't have a child. That's how normal people are, let alone rich people. That crazy woman came to our house and made a scene. I'm not blaming you, I just want you to have a child. Status is secondary, the main thing is that you're not young anymore. You'll need a child sooner or later. I understand. Hearing his mother's earnest advice, Huamin nodded and didn't argue with her. Sis, when are we moving? It's so annoying. If we move, she won't be able to find us. She won't be able to find us even if she comes. Let's do it now. Let's move now. Are you crazy? It's already afternoon. Jing Jixin froze. Then, Huamin contacted the city's largest moving company. 2 trucks and more than a dozen workers arrived. In less than an hour, everything was settled and loaded. Yang Meirong and Jing Jixin kept looking back at the old house that they had lived in for more than 20 years. Let's go. We have a new home now. Jixin held his mother's hand. Yang Meirong wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. If only your dad was still here, we'd be a family. He was the one who borrowed money to buy this house, all for the sake of giving me a place to live. When I was young, I was vain and thought that marrying into a rich family would be my happiness, but then I met that scumbag Hua Jinghai. Thank God, I met your dad in the end, and now I have someone to rely on. When she left the old house, Yang Meirong suddenly missed Jing Jixin's father, Jing De. Every time this happened, Huamin would feel very guilty, She had always felt that she was the cause of Uncle Jing's death. Don't say it, sis will feel bad, Jing Jixin whispered into his mother's ear. Yang Meirong immediately realized that she had said something wrong. She wiped her tears and said, "You're old, so you like to nag. Okay, let's go." Before they left, the neighbors came to see them off. "Sis, you're so lucky to have a good daughter who bought you a big house. Don't forget about us in the future." "I won't, you guys can come over and play cards with me when you have time." Yang Meirong smiled. Of course. Just like that, Huamin drove his mother and Jixin home, with 2 trucks following behind them. It was filled with all of the family's belongings. The truth was, they didn't need to take all of it, but his mother was nostalgic and didn't want to throw away even some of Uncle Jing's belongings. Sky Blessing Court was a gift from Qin Chu. It was decorated very grandly, and he even prepared a vegetable garden for his mother-in-law. By the time they arrived, the sky was already dark. Huamin hired a cleaner to clean up the house, and he and his mother began to organize the scattered clothes. When Qin Chu got off work at GK, he was about to call Huamin. Just then, he received a call from Song Yisher. "Qin Chu, I'm at the hospital. Auntie was just admitted to the first hospital. Come and see her." Chapter 8:13. What happened? Why is she in the hospital again? Qin Chu frowned slightly. Qin Chu was getting impatient because his mother kept threatening him with hospitalization. No one would believe the story of the boy who cried wolf. Luckily, it was Song Yisher who called this time. If it was a maid, he would have hung up immediately. "Yeah, it's a bit complicated. I'll tell you when you get here. I just took her for an X-ray. The doctor said it's a minor fracture." "A minor fracture? Hey, wait for me, I'll be right there." Qin Chu knew that Song Yisher wouldn't lie, so he didn't think about anything else and drove straight to the hospital. On the way there, he called Huamian and talked to her. Huamin was helping his mother move. He told Huamin to wait for him so they could eat together. Huamin nodded and didn't say much about his mother's fall. He was so busy that he was dizzy. Let's throw away these old clothes. They're so old-fashioned, who would wear them?" Huamin chuckled. "These clothes aren't damaged, they're all in good condition. It'd be a shame to throw them away. You guys really don't know how to live." Then, Yang Meirong snatched the old clothes from Huamin's hands and put them away like they were treasures. Jixin smiled and said to his sister, "Mom is going to keep them as antiques. When we have grandchildren in the future, these things will be worth a lot of money." "Ha!" Huamin couldn't stop laughing. "What are you guys talking about?" Yang Meirong asked curiously. Nothing, Mom. You can continue tidying up, huh?" Jixin smiled mischievously. Moving from a rundown little yard to a luxurious duplex, it was a bit hard to get used to. Jixin, the brother-in-law of a rich family, finally had a mansion and a sports car. "Sis, does this mean that when one person achieves the Tao, his family and friends will also ascend to heaven? Where the hell do you get so many words in one day?" Jixin. His mother suddenly called out. "What is it, Mom?" "Now that we've moved, we have a big house. Bring Xiaoyu over for dinner when you're free." It was obvious that Yang Meirong quite liked Huang Yu. Compared to Lady Qin's mother-in-law, Yang Meirong was much kinder. Okay. Jing Jixin's answer was also vague. At the mention of Huang Yu, Huamin remembered that the issue between Huang Yu and Jixin hadn't been resolved yet. Thus, she quietly pulled him aside. "Are you two still like that?" "It's worse than the past few days." She didn't reply at all. She would occasionally reply to me on WeChat. Jixin smiled bitterly. "All right, give me a few days. I'll go over there for a meeting and talk to her again." "Forget it, sis, you're right. Love is between two people. If she really has a change of heart, I won't be able to keep her." Jing Jixin seemed to have thought a lot over the past few days. Huamin lovingly patted his head. "Don't think too much. Maybe something really happened to her." "Okay, it's already like this. There's no point in me thinking too much. Let's just wait." Jixin seemed to have let go of the news of Huang Yu's sudden change in attitude. Qin Chu drove to the hospital. Song Yisher had finished the hospitalization procedures and was walking upstairs with a form in her hand. Yisher, you're here. Song Yisher gently smiled when she saw Qin Chu. How's my mom? She's fine. Her bones are just a little dislocated, and there's a slight fracture. How did this happen all of a sudden? Did she slip and fall at home? Qin Chu asked. Not at home. Song Yisher hesitated. Then where is it? Seeing her hesitation, Qin Chu became even more suspicious. Actually, you might not believe me, but it's at Huamin's house. Oh no, it's Huamin's mother's house. Qin Chu was indeed a little surprised. Chapter 8:14. How did she fall over there? Qin Chu asked this question calmly. From what he knew about his mother, it was obvious that she went to Huamin's house to cause trouble. This wasn't the first time. I don't know the details, and I don't dare to say anything, but I think Mama Qin went to Huamin's mother's house and they got into an argument. There were a lot of people there. You know, it's a residential area filled with neighbors. I don't know what happened, but when Mama Qin left the house, she fell. She insists that Huamin pushed her, but I don't think that's believable. Mama Qin is biased against Huamin, and I believe that Huamin isn't that kind of person. Song Yisher smiled. Actually, the scariest part about her wasn't that she kept insulting others, but that she kept praising them. Qin Chu was in a good mood when he heard Song Yisher defend Huamin. This was because he hated it when people slandered Huamin. How's she doing right now? She's pretty emotional. When she heard that she had a fracture, she wanted to contact the media and get a lawyer. I persuaded her not to. You should go check on her. Qin Chu nodded and entered the VIP room. Lady Qin was eating a banana. When she saw her son enter, she immediately threw the banana on the floor. Then, she held her injured leg and began to cry. Chu, my leg hurts like hell. Mum, what did you do at Huamin's house? Nothing. I actually went to talk to her about something, but they were so mean to me. They even got together with the neighbors to kick me out, especially Huamin's brother. He's so uneducated. He kept yelling at me and told me to get lost. Huamin also said a lot of mean things. In the end, she was instigated by her mother. She even pushed me. Did Huamin push you? Yeah, why not? Mom, I'll ask you one more time. You have to think carefully before you answer. If you lie to me, I'll never forgive you. Technology is very advanced now, and there are surveillance cameras in the civilian district. Upon hearing Qin Chu's words, Lady Qin's expression immediately changed. Then he pretended to be silent. Mom, so tell me, did Huamin push you? Qin Chu questioned coldly. He really couldn't stand his mother pushing everything onto Huamin. There should be a bottom line for slandering, right? No. Finally, Lady Qin told the truth. She was really afraid that her lie would be exposed and she would not be forgiven. After all, the relationship between mother and son was already very strained. I knew it wasn't Huamin. I've known her for so long. I know what she can and can't do. Then why doesn't she have a child? Tell me about it. Lady Qin began to talk about children again. Song Yisher was so embarrassed that she felt awkward. Children depend on fate. It's not something that can happen just because you say so. You can't blame her. It's between the two of them. I think she's just sick and can't have children. Let me tell you, I can't let the Qin family have no descendants. Mom, you're overthinking it. Qin Chu was speechless at his mother's attitude. If she doesn't have children, I won't tolerate her. Lady Qin said, even if she can't have children, I won't abandon her. I'll only recognize Huamin. Qin Chu wasn't angry at his mother. He truly felt that way. Not far behind them, Song Yisher's eyes darkened. She felt a little uncomfortable. What are you doing? Are you going against me? Qin Chu, do you still recognize me as your mother? Lady Qin screamed. She didn't understand why her son was bewitched by that woman. Chapter 8:15. Mom, as long as you accept Huamin, the world will be at peace. Qin Chu said slowly. Lady Qin immediately glared at him. You want me to accept that mistress's daughter? Impossible. She's just a commoner. She's just a commoner. What right does she have to enter our family? You really have bad taste. Lady Qin didn't seem to be willing to back down at all. If that's the case, then I have nothing else to say. You should rest. Then, Qin Chu turned around and left. It was really worrisome to talk nonsense with such a stubborn person like his mother. Stop right there. I'm not done yet. Lady Qin yelled from the room behind him, but Qin Chu didn't stop because of that. Song Yisher, on the other hand, turned around and followed him out. Qin Chu. What's up? Qin Chu turned around, looking as indifferent as ever. Other than Huamin, he treated everyone the same way. Mama Qin's foot is injured, so she's in a bad mood. What she said might be a bit harsh, but don't be like her. You know her temper, she's very headstrong. I know. Don't worry about things here, I'll take good care of Mama Qin. Don't worry about the company. Thank you. Qin Chu looked at Song Yisher with cold eyes as he thanked her. That kind of tone made people feel very alienated. Song Yisher smiled elegantly and said hello to Qin Chu. Then she watched him go downstairs. Seeing that his mother was fine, Qin Chu went downstairs and went straight to his new home at Sky Blessing Court. When he passed by a fireworks store, he bought a bunch of fireworks and put them in the trunk. At Sky Blessing Court, by the time they finished cleaning and packing, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. Huamin was starving, so he lay down on the sofa tiredly. Mom, I'm so hungry. Mom, I'm starving too. Jixin imitated his sister on the other side. I'm going to cook now. You two wait here, Yang Merong said as she headed to the kitchen. Don't cook anymore, it's a waste of time. Let's order food. Huamin said as he took out his phone and opened the takeout menu. Then he looked at the houses one by one. Jixin, what do you want to eat? Anything is fine as long as I can fill my stomach. Jixin was starving as well. Then I'll just order food from a random restaurant nearby. Then Huamin ordered 8 dishes and soup. Then they started to clean up the dining table and kitchen utensils. When Qin Chu arrived, the takeout arrived as well. Hubby, you came back just in time for dinner. Huamin held onto Qin Chu's hand and acted like a spoiled child. Jixin, take out the fireworks from my trunk. Fireworks? It's not like we're celebrating Chinese New Year. Why are we setting off fireworks? Huamin was confused. Sis, how can you not understand? You're so low, we set off fireworks when we move into a new house. It's not a big deal to celebrate, but it's a big deal to get rid of all the bad luck. It's a tradition here. Fine, you win, Jingzhi. Huamin didn't know about this tradition, but it seemed like Qin Chu and Jixin both knew about it. Jixin took down the fireworks and placed them in front of the yard. After Qin Chu lit them up, the three of them walked to the door. They watched as the colorful fireworks flew into the air, looking extremely beautiful in the night sky. Huamin leaned on Qin Chu's shoulder. Hubby, won't the property management yell at us for setting off fireworks in such a high-profile manner? We're all GK's properties, who would dare yell at? Qin Chu chuckled. You guys are so capricious, it's great to own your own property. Huamin smiled. Then, the three of them sat around the table and began to eat. It's too late today, I'm planning to invite Lingling and Gao Ran over this weekend to cook for us. Huamin said as he ate. Sure, we're all free this weekend. Qin Chu nodded. During dinner, Yang Meong suddenly remembered something and said, Qin Chu, your mom went over to our old house today. Why are you telling brother-in-law this? Jing Jixin didn't think it was appropriate, as if she was complaining. Chapter 8:16. Qin Chu only raised his head and listened quietly. Your mother is such a bitch. It's okay that she came to my house to cause trouble. I'm used to her behavior. But, can you not talk about Mian like that in front of the neighbors? You're poking at her sore spot. No matter how strong she is, she's still a girl. Your mom's words are like knives, stabbing people's hearts. Auntie, what did my mom say to Mian? Qin Chu looked at Yang Merong and asked, Let bygones be bygones, why bring her up? Huamin didn't want his mother to say anything. After all, she didn't want to put Qin Chu in a difficult position. No matter what, she was still Qin Chu's mother. If she said anything, it would only make him feel bad. Why don't you say anything? It's fine if I'm wronged, but you're so young, how long are you going to have to listen to her? Then, Yang Meirong looked at Qin Chu and said, your mom said that Mian is a chicken that can't lay eggs. If she can't give birth, then she should get out of the Qin family. The Qin family can't tolerate a daughter-in-law who can't give birth. After Yang Meirong finished speaking, Qin Chu's eyes darkened. Even he felt hurt when he heard those words, let alone Huamin. What did she mean by a chicken that can't lay eggs? It was a blatant insult. Why didn't you tell me? Qin Chu looked at Huamin with heartache. Even if I told you, it would only make you feel worse. Anyway, I didn't take it to heart. Huamin looked down and ate quietly. Yang Meirong put down her bowl and slammed the table, saying angrily, Qin Chu, look at what your mom said. Is that something a mother-in-law should say to her daughter-in-law? Mian is also worried that she can't give birth to a child. Plus, you might not like what I'm going to say. You two don't have children, so what's going on? Maybe my Mian is the one who's sick. Maybe it's you? Am I right? You can't let Mian take the blame for something that happened between the two of you. Mom? Huamin looked at his mother awkwardly. Mom, you're being too harsh, Jing Jixin kindly reminded her. Qin Chu nodded sincerely. Auntie, you're right. That's true. So, I suggest that the two of you get a checkup when you're free. Whoever has the problem, get it treated. Don't let your mother find fault with us again. I know. Qin Chu nodded. Faced with Mian was angry at him. He didn't seem to be angry at all. After the meal was over. Because it was close, Mian was because Mian. In the car, Qin Chu held the steering wheel with one hand and held Huamian's hand tightly with the other. I'm sorry for what happened today. Of course not. I was actually very barbaric when I fought with your mother. But I'm quite sorry that she fell down. Is she okay? He's fine. He's just slightly injured. He's still recuperating in the hospital. I hope she won't come back again. She always makes us unhappy. Since we don't like each other, I think it's better if we don't see each other. Huamin muttered softly, I will definitely make my mother accept you, not you accepting her. Qin Chu made up his mind. Huamin was actually very powerful, but he cared about Qin Chu, so he didn't want to argue with Lady Qin. However, she always took advantage of her seniority. Because of this, she always thought that Huamin was easy to bully and kept bullying him. Qin Chu saw everything and naturally knew that his wife had been wronged. His heart ached for her. After hearing what Qin Chu said, Huamin was slightly touched. Back at South Hill Manor, after Huamin went to take a shower, Qin Chu's phone suddenly rang. He looked at the caller ID and saw that it was Jishi. Qin Chu picked up the phone. Brother-in-law, are you free to talk? Chapter 8:17. Sure. Where's my sister? She's taking a shower. That's great, I want to talk to you in private. Okay. Brother-in-law, other than your mother, there was also a beautiful woman who came to my house to cause trouble. She's called Shirshir, something I've never seen before, but it seems like she's really close to your mother. My sister said that she's your childhood friend, but I'm not sure if she was joking or not. But I want to say, since you married my sister and chose her to be your life partner, then please don't hurt her, okay? She really cares about you, and I've never seen her so happy in all these years. Ever since you came back to China and got together with her, I've always seen her smile so brightly. It's a smile that she hasn't had in the past 7 years. I really want her to be happy forever. So, big brother Qin Chu, promise me? No matter who it is, don't give them a chance to get in between you two, okay? My sister isn't the prettiest girl, nor is she the smartest girl, nor is she the daughter of a rich family. She doesn't even have a high education, but I believe that no one in this world will love you more than my sister does. She's such a stubborn person, and once she sets her mind on someone, she'll be with him forever. It's not something that can be done with words. Jixin, I understand. Hearing his brother-in-law's words, Qin Chu nodded. My sister's been through a lot these past few years. She loves me and my mother, and she's been through everything by herself. She's never complained about it, and my heart aches for her. Now that she's living a happy life, I really don't want it to be ruined. I understand. Brother-in-law, you're a smart person, and I'm sure you understand what I mean. Anyways, I'll leave my sister in your care, and I hope that you'll treat her well. Of course. Qin Chu thought that Jixin's words were quite sharp sometimes. Although Jixin didn't say it explicitly, his meaning was clear. He was warning Qin Chu not to find a third party. Especially that Song Yishe, who was so beautiful that she looked like Qi Ling's sister, made Hua Xiqian feel a sense of crisis. Even an innocent child like Jixin felt a sense of crisis for his sister. When she hung up, Hua Min happened to walk out of the bathroom. Who's calling? You chatted for so long? It's a secret. Qin Chu smirked. All right, since Mr. Qin already has a secret, I'll have to keep my own secret. I can keep secrets, but you can't, Qin Chu said proudly. Why? Hua Min was clearly unconvinced. Based on the fact that I'm the one who gets the most points every time. After saying this, Qin Chu threw his phone aside and pushed Hua Min down onto the spacious bed. I haven't dried my hair yet. Hurry up and move away, or you'll wet the sheets. It's healthier to be wet. Qin Chu smiled gently. Hua Min only felt that his cheeks were as red as a furnace. Every time Mr. Qin spoke, he would make her blush and her heart race. After their lovemaking, Mr. Qin fell asleep, exhausted. Hua Min, on the other hand, didn't feel sleepy anymore and was much more energetic. She quietly got out of bed and ran to the bathroom. She didn't know when a transparent tube had appeared in her hand. Then, she spent a lot of effort to get the remaining sperm that Mr. Qin left in her body into the tube. The next morning, after arriving at Southside, Hua Min went straight to the reproductive health center. Morning, Dr. Hua, his colleagues greeted him with a smile. Morning, ahem, can you check the sperm survival rate for me? Hua Min handed over the tube in his hand and said awkwardly. Chapter 8:18. Oh, okay. Knowing that it was a private matter, the woman didn't dare to ask. She took the things in and came out 10 minutes later with a report. Dr. Hua, the results are out. Take a look. Hua Min immediately took the report. Seeing that it was normal, he let out a sigh of relief. Mr. Qin must have been too embarrassed to come, so he decided to be a good guy and secretly check for him. If Mr. Qin was fine, then she was the one with the problem. Thinking of this, Hua Min felt a bit depressed. Dr. Hua, is this your relative? Yes. Oh, it's fine. There are a lot of couples without children these days, and half of them have problems with the woman. Gynecological diseases are very common nowadays, and a lot of women don't care about themselves and get abortions. This leads to habitual abortions or blocked fallopian tubes. Yes. Hua Min forced a smile. After going downstairs, Hua Min decided to go to the gynecologist for a full checkup. After all, if there really was something wrong with her, then she should get treatment as soon as possible. Although she didn't care about what Lady Qin said, she couldn't be without children. Qin Chu didn't care if she was pregnant or not, but she could tell that he wanted to be a father. Plus, when a woman loved a man deeply, she would want to give birth to his child. That would be the fruit of their love. Last year, Hua Min watched a TV show, and there was a scene in it that he remembered very clearly. The man had a woman he loved, but he married someone else because of his career. In the end, the woman miscarried out of sadness, and the man was very, very sad. Later, his wife also got pregnant, but the man didn't have any reaction. The wife asked, "Don't you love children? Why aren't you happy that I'm pregnant?" The man calmly replied, "It's not that I don't love children, I just don't love you." The woman suddenly realized that he was sad because of the miscarriage, not because he loved the child, but because he loved the child's mother. Hua Min felt that Qin Chu doted on her so much. If she gave birth to a child, Qin Chu would love it to death, right? Hua Min then went to the ICU to see Shuai Shuai. Today was the day of Shuai Shuai's surgery, which was held at the south side. There was a doctor from the district, a chief physician from the first hospital, and 3 assistants. President Wu seemed to be very concerned about this matter. He even called in the morning to ask about it. "Sister, I'm so scared." Will it hurt? Before the operation, Shui looked at Huamin timidly. Don't be afraid, it doesn't hurt. Shui just needs to sleep. The uncles will give Shui an injection first. Just a little, then Shui will go to sleep. After he wakes up, Shui will recover. Really? Is it only as painful as an injection? Yes, I didn't lie to you, so don't be afraid. He encouraged Shui again and sent him into the operating theater. Huamin and Xiawan were waiting outside the operating theater. Seeing Xiawan's nervous expression, Huamin comforted her. Don't worry, this type of surgery isn't difficult. Our doctors are all very authoritative, so there won't be any mistakes. Shui is also heavily anesthetized, so he won't feel any pain, Huamin added. Xiawan nodded. After days of anticipation, the day of the surgery was finally here. You haven't contacted an Yang lately, right? Huamin looked at her and asked. Chapter 8:19. No. At the mention of N.I. Yang, Xiawan lowered her head in shame. N.I. Yang is very outstanding. Through his own efforts, he gained a group of fans. When he was a trainee in South Korea, he practiced dance even though he broke bones several times, performed even when he had a fever, and even went on variety shows. It's really hard to live alone in a place where people don't speak the language. Luckily, his efforts haven't been in vain. To be honest, I think N.I. Yang should be a very sunny boy. He deserves more love. Xiawan licked her lips as if she didn't know what to say. When it came to N.I. Yang, she really didn't care much. In fact, she never cared at all, because she gave all her energy to Shui. To be honest, don't blame N.I. Yang for hating you. If it were me, I would also hate the heavens for being unfair. They're both your sons, you carried them in your womb for 10 months. Why are their lives so different? Although Shui's health isn't good, he still has all your love. As for N.I. Yang, no matter how much money he has, it can't make up for the emptiness in his materialistic life. Maybe you don't know how sad it is for him to live alone in a mansion that's a few hundred square meters, or how lonely he is for people to eat alone, or how lonely he is for people to share his loneliness after receiving awards. Celebrities are also people. Once they lose their celebrity aura, they're actually more fragile than ordinary people, and they need more care. N.I. Yang is still just a child who grew up alone and didn't receive any attention. When Huamin said all this, Xiawan couldn't take it anymore. In the end, she just squatted on the ground and cried. Yeah, he's also my son. Why would I treat him like that? Why? Xiawan muttered to herself. Huamin took out his phone from the pocket of his white lab coat and opened a video website. Today, he's holding a concert in a city for 100,000 people. It's live on the internet, take a look. As he spoke, Huamin handed the phone to her. Xiawan trembled as she took the phone and looked at the big boy in the middle of the stage. He didn't dress as flashily as the other celebrities, nor did he wear exaggerated makeup that would attract attention. Just so quietly, he put on a little black jacket and jeans, and then sat on a bar stool. He sat there quietly with a microphone in one hand, all the lights around him dimmed, and only one beam of light shone on his body. The 100,000 people in the audience held their breaths. This was the last song of N.I. Yang's concert. Apparently, it was an original song that had never been released. This song is called Lonely Bird. Then the music. I saw a little bird flying alone. I asked where it's home. It didn't know what to do. It thinks its target is somewhere far away. But it didn't know that one day, even if no one there, but it must be strong. Not everyone was born with the light of a mother's love. It was just a child who was hurt. When she was in extreme pain, she would lick her feathers alone in sorrow. It's just an orphan forgotten by God. No one clap of people of times. It doesn't know how long it can last. When they were tired from flying, they would stop and feel sad. Of N.I. Yang, of N.I. Yang, of Heaven's Song of Death, unable to write a new chapter. Lonely bird, you can do whatever you want. No one will care about your melodious voice. Lonely bird, your heart has long since been desolate. Let's fly together. Fly to the place that belongs to the two of us. After singing the last line of the song, Yang slowly opened his eyes. In those extremely beautiful eyes, there were a few glistening teardrops. After 10 seconds of silence, the audience burst into thunderous applause. Yang, I love you. Go for it, Yang, Yang, you're the best. The sun will always be by your side. This was the slogan of the fans. Yang's fans were collectively called the Sun. They were a group of girls with dreams. To be honest, this was the first time Min heard this song, but his heart was once again shaken. His lyrics were simple, but the melody was sad. The people who sang seemed to be able to feel his unparalleled sadness. Xianxia held her phone, tears streaming down her face. Her son was already standing on the stage in front of 100,000 people, but he was still so unhappy. If time could turn back, would you still abandon Yang? Min asked softly. Chapter 8:20. I said, I won't do it again, would you believe me? Xianxia raised her head. The crow's feet at the corners of her eyes were stained with tears. She was actually quite young, but because she had been through so much over the years, she appeared very old. She dressed poorly, ate poorly, and lived a miserable life, all for the sake of her youngest son. It would be a lie to say that she was heartless. It was just that Yang was unlucky. After Xiaoxi's surgery, if he recovers, I will help you contact the local school and send him to school. As for you, you should also take some time to take care of Yang. Although he's grown up, his heart is still very fragile. If his depression relapses, he will have suicidal tendencies at any time. If you still have a mother's conscience, I hope you can treat him well. Xianxia wasn't a sweet talker, so in the face of Min's words, she nodded her head in agreement. Min was quite good at reading people. She believed that Min's promise to her was no longer just a condition. In order to treat Xiaoxi's illness, she truly felt guilty towards Yang and wanted to make it up to him. 3 hours later, the door to the operating room opened. How did it go? Min walked up and asked the chief surgeon. It was very successful. He was sent to the ICU for 24 hours of observation, and there were no problems. Afterward, he has to stay in the ICU for about half a month to see if there are any signs of rejection. Okay, thank you for your hard work. Min and the other doctors nodded their heads and thanked them one by one. They all knew that she cared a lot about this child, so they all did their best. Xiaoxi was then pushed into the ICU. The surgery was very successful. Now we just have to wait for the anesthesia to wear off and he will wake up. Don't worry, Min said slowly as he comforted Xianxia. Xianxia looked at her youngest son through the glass and immediately let out a sigh of relief. It was as if a huge rock that had been weighing on her heart for many years had finally been lifted. She suddenly felt very relaxed. At this moment, she did something unexpected. She turned around, faced Min, and knelt down with a thump. Big Sister Xia, what are you doing? Min was shocked. Without waiting for Min to speak, she kowtowed 3 times to Min. Then she quickly got up and said, I'm a dumb person. I've never been to school and I'm uncultured. I don't know what to say, but I'm very grateful to you. You saved Xiaoxi's life. You're our benefactor. Sister Xia, I'm not as noble as you make me out to be. I have a condition for saving Xiaoxi. I'm an Yang. Min had never thought of himself as great, nor was he as enlightened as the Holy Mother. He would not immediately take care of a pitiful person, as if he was afraid that others would not know that he was a philanthropist. She did like Xiaoxi because of Yang. When GK was in a stalemate, Yang gave up on Imperial Star and signed with GK. This incident was enough to engrave it in her heart. Therefore, she really wanted to help Yang untie the knot in his heart. After she found Xianxia and saw what happened, she couldn't just ignore it. However, she didn't do it to be a good person, that was for sure. I know, even if you did it for Yang's sake, I'm still grateful. Whether it's Yang or Xiaoxi, they're both my sons. You helped my sons, so you're my benefactor. I know you're rich and don't care about money. You don't have much use for me, but I want to say if I can't repay your kindness in this life, then in my next life. Oh, okay, Don't be a cow or a horse. Even TV dramas don't use these lines anymore, so stop saying them. Anyways, you can rest assured that Shuai Shuai is fine. You guys can stay in the hospital for now. Call me if you need anything. After he spoke, Huamin turned around and left. Xiewan looked at Huamin's back and was very grateful. Sometimes, a person inadvertently appeared in one's life and changed one's tragic life. This saying was absolutely true when applied to Xiewan. Outside Southside's gynecology department, hey, Dr. Hua? The gynecologists all greeted him. Huamin was promoted from head nurse to neurologist and got a perfect score on his exam. This news had spread all over Southside. Huamin was now a godlike existence at Southside. I want to get my body checked. What do you want to check? One of the doctors asked curiously. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.